Hello and welcome to Jarviskjir Mind Over Matter. I was gonna say it's been a while. It hasn't. It hasn't been a while at all. We didn't even take a time off. We've just been grinding out the content. We have extra special guest, but you know, from the other campaign.
Yes, we have an extra special guest. Zoe's afro has returned.
Yes, it's the on Afro Watch. We're on high levels of poofiness.
What will I pull out of it today?
Here's like a dice. Okay.
The funny thing
Sure.
is I have lost an actual whole pencil in my hair for a good few minutes before.
I mean, so have I, though. But I'm just a goblin. But yes, we have Quill. Basically just due to coincidence.
Welcome to the show that spits out the chunt. What's the phrase?
Are you all right?
Welcome to the show that chews up and spits people out. That's what I was going for.
Is that
Yes.
what we do?
Well, I mean, when you think about it, we've lost.
I just like to think.
Not
Will,
everyone has died.
We've lost Will. We've lost Nil.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Yep. We've
Oh,
lost
Quill,
Neil.
Rose!
We've lost. We.
No.
I mean, the other
Oh my
Will was
God.
only ever here for one show. We've lost Jaken.
Oh thank god. Jacob
I didn't tell Quill about the bodies.
I'm a little worried now.
No, it's fine.
You have to change your name to something that doesn't have two L's.
Yeah, that's very true, actually.
No, we're locked in here now, and this is how it's gonna be. So,
Quit.
as we're at the start of the campaign or chapter, I can recap what's kind of been going on. But I guess, you know, for Quill, I can do a recap of kind of the whole campaign, actually. This campaign started off as a diplomacy one, where Ocean and Ashal were two members of races linked to the Treaty of the Deep. Around 8 years ago now, maybe 9. All the major countries in the Underrealm below the surface of the world linked together. Unlikely allies, but they all started working together for trade, diplomacy, and mostly to kill all humans. And, you know, everything else that's human adjacent. But over time, there have been more calls for peace, and they represented Orkshua, a woman of peace, who also led the Ebamari, which some may call mind flayers. But they want peace. So, wow. But basically, that all kind of went wrong because you went and investigated one of the jobs. You met some other people, got some other people involved. Found out that basically a plan to resurrect the old leader of the usurper elves as a lich, and you could not stop it. It was too late. You then went with your ally, Prince Bogdan V, to
Just list our failures.
well, you know, why don't you succeed at something? And our list of successes.
I successfully killed a friend.
You went with Prince Bogdan to the deep dwarf city, the Wall of Abanar, with his goal to kill the king and become the king, because he was the rightful king to him. And you did all the preparation steps successfully, but Bogdan just straight up lost in a 1v1 combat, which didn't help in that Ocean also killed him.
Coup de grace.
Yes, after all of that, there's no wonder that you kind of had to leave the city in quite a rush. And that leads us to
Beetle.
chapter 3. You left your baby beetle, and by baby I
But
mean
not
it
my
was
baby.
a big... No, but you did take Ocean's baby, which may be... which is a demigod and may be listening to you at all times. Who knows?
Passing on bad things that we don't want Ocean's God to know about. Because
Yeah.
Ashal does not like gods.
You left the deep dwarven country via a lesser traveled route, which is mostly only used by vagabonds and exiles, going to the dead city of Rangerfuth. which was destroyed by some kind of disaster. It once housed Ebamari, but according to Ashal and the histories that they know, a much more violent group of hunters that fed from the surface very directly. You have basically got to the very edge of this territory. Just Ashal and Oshun and the baby, which is kind of called the gift, but is mostly unnamed. Yeah. It's
I went
pretty
ahead
much...
and hijacked Ollie's lore to give myself the excuse of not coming up with a good name. That
Oh yeah, you did. You did like, oh yes, we don't name children until they're at least 50. Like, oh sure, Ocean. Yeah, sure. You last session, as you got closer and closer to Rangafuth, discovered more interference from the fell realm of Uhaga, including seemingly creatures descended from that realm, and even inorganic things, but have seemingly transferred between realms. You were not attacked by the shield head, but you did witness this creature called a shield head that Oshun wanted to be like, I must heal him, and Ashal's like, no. Also encountered one of the unlucky inhabitants of the city, a Ebamari reduced to nothing but skeleton that attacked you. And that's pretty much what we start the session off. You wanted a long rest, I believe, right by the very edge of the crater that surrounds the city, the ruins.
I think we'd probably want to move a bit further away, given that thing came careering out of the city towards us. But yeah,
Naruto running directly for us.
Many things Naruto run. That skeleton was not one of them.
I'll leave.
Jarviskjir Fortnite.
If that ever happens, that's wild.
Also, just to remind, we did contact Drea.
You did contact
she is
Drea.
Theoretically on her way.
You up? What you wearing?
Yeah. Now Oshun
Full plate mail.
The
The sexiest thing I could possibly wear. My
Tell me
full
how you
samurai
take that
garb.
plate mail
It takes days.
off.
Yes. I'm sorry, I'm unhinged today.
Well, that's good. You know, Oshun is clearly going, clearly at the end of her tether, I guess. Yeah, that's fine. You are native to these kinds of desolate places, Ashal. You can find a place to, neither of you really sleep, but to rest and recover. And all the while look upon the city of Rangafuth in the distance, somewhat hidden by the crater it's within and the cold mists and fogs. Are there any discussions the pair of you want to have while you're resting or when you're getting up for the day?
Oshun's gonna entertain the baby.
Ashal is finally going to remember to cast law keeping on the locket that Zahal gave them.
Do you want law keeping or because law keeping doesn't do anything.
Law keeping doesn't do anything on the locket.
There's no
Okay.
writing on it.
Oh,
Okay.
scratch.
I'm
something
gonna try various things. I have message. If I cast message on the locket, does anything happen?
When you cast spells like message and sending, there is a handshake that occurs, and it does feel like you're talking to something when you talk into the locket.
Okay. What else do I have?
Cast it on the V.
I I mean, I don't have that many other actual spells.
You could just be kind of, tinkering with it in the morning.
Yeah, I think Ashal will have been doing that regularly anyway, but we'll continue to tinker with it.
Break form.
I'm not break forming that lot. Ashal, whilst I'm examining it, we'll just absent-mindedly say to Oshun at some point, as suspected, I feel Rangerfuth has become a giant manifestation zone. But for what it's worth, that former Ebimari that charged us, that was not a being of the fell. That was more akin to a traditional zombie, I would say. Just so you are aware, I do not think that you would be able to heal one of those.
No, it didn't seem quite the same as Tumulus. Or was it? Tumulus did say that he clambered out of a pile of bodies. Wasn't that a spell, though?
I think Tumulus was an exception among zombies.
Tumulus was exceptional.
Whereas beings of Uhaga are not, strictly speaking, zombies at all. This was... Zombie Ebimari are rare, but...
Zombimari, please.
Zombie Ebimari are rare, but fundamentally no different to a zombie of any other people. Only they are potentially more fragile, being Ebimari, and still retain some psionic energy.
Oshun's going to be holding the baby's arms as he kicks. Don't even think he's ready to walk or anything, and she's just going to passively say to him, as you say ridiculous things to infants, because they understand your tone, kind of. And she's just gonna say, keeping it light despite this conversation, could you imagine me as a zombie? I'm so big.
Ashal, when it gets to that point, Ashal would settle down, just wanting to confirm with Oshun that she understands that was not something that could be healed, and there'll probably be a lot of them.
I think she would probably, aside, say to Ashal, I didn't quite get anything from that creature.
I would not expect you to. It is... When something is undead, it is almost more of a force at that point than a sentient creature.
Do you think the entire city has one-to-one been transferred into that kind of existence?
Unlikely, but we are talking a population in the hundreds of thousands. If even a small percentage did so, that is still an awful lot of zombies. And honestly, an incident on this scale is, well, unprecedented. It is an incident of this nature is unprecedented. I am hypothesizing based on very little information and knowledge. That is partly why we need to scout properly before entering the city.
I feel the same way. I'm beginning to see that a small group might be able to get through these clusters of creatures. I still believe that doing little bits of good might chip away at the edge of the pyramid enough for it to fall down. However, on this kind of scale, perhaps it would do well to if the scouting doesn't seem to go according to plan, to reconvene with a larger force.
The beings from Uhaga, such as that shield head that we saw
The big doggo.
earlier, yes, beings like that are sentient. I honestly, personally doubt that you would be able to establish any rapport with them, but they are at least sentient enough that they you might be able to hold a conversation. Perhaps.
Are we going to help the big dog? Are we going to help the big dog?
Although I would encourage you to start small rather than something like that. But they at least you stand a chance with. The zombies, no, they are obviously completely insentient, as it were.
All right. No, I'm not getting it. I need to retry my Princess Diana.
Are you good to enter the city?
We done the rest?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the morning.
Heal me.
Morning. There is no night nor day, only cave.
Squishy.
It's like being on a Aberration on Ark Survival Evolved, so I imagine it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just always cave.
Always cave.
Yep,
Do you want to enter the crater? Because entering the city, there's a big crater around the city, to be fair.
Yeah.
First. Okay. Once you are ready and rested and, baby fed and swaddled, you can start your ways closer to the city that you see. And like I say, it's in this large crater, and you can very quickly get up to the edge of it, where you can almost see the rock has been shoved by the force, into kind of a cliff edge, where the shaping is very different, and you walk up that, can look down into the crater. The interior of it is like smooth painted glass, all this very glossy purple. And it does return to more regular rock after 100 or so feet, but the edge of the crater, which surrounds the whole city, is this beautiful, although very gloomy, sort of thing, where you can almost see that the stone has been melted by the explosion and kind of reformed, but all with this very purple haze. And it's not like a deep dark, it's an Ashal purple. It's a very bright purple. You can start making your way down. It's not easy, but not too difficult either, especially with the benefit of time and the usefulness of Ocean being 8 foot tall, and start heading towards the city proper. Like I said, you're kind of at the very end of the cold season. There's a kind of cold mist that's hanging over the city itself, where you can see it. You can see the shape of it. It is this kind of tall, spired structure that you can see is clearly in ruin, but you can't really grasp the wholeness, the mass yet. But you do eventually start to hear noises and then see movement. You would hear the sounds not entirely dissimilar to a crossbow, and see the movement of multiple of those skeletal Ebamari, all hunting down one individual who has a torch. Torch is probably on the floor, because their weapon is two-handed, and it's probably too far away to see any details other than this individual is relatively tall.
Here is your opportunity to try and establish a rapport with one of the Uhagans, or at least a fellow explorer.
Good lord.
We should aid them, because those zombies are not something we want to aid.
Alright.
Okay. You can start heading on down, and we can head on to a battle map where Quill, before or after you roll initiative, feel free to describe yourself.
So, you see a about 5-foot-ish insectoid person, sort of strapped with multiple, looks like just different bits of equipment and tools, just like strapped to every single part of their body. Carrying it. It looks kind of like someone took like a musket and a crossbow and mixed them together backwards. It's probably the best way to describe how this thing looks. They're wearing like a kind of breastplate, sort of just around their midsection, but everything else just seems to be bare chitinous sort of black material. But there is like a white V so on their face as they're moving around, trying to avoid the denizens of the city, as it were.
All right. Initiative rolls, kids at home. By kids at home, I mean y'all. Kids at home can roll initiative too. It ain't gonna do anything.
Is my eyesight restored?
Yes, you should be able to see, like a really long way very clearly. In fact, what the chat's seeing right now is mostly what Ocean is seeing. This isn't pure darkness either. There is just enough light coming from both the aether lights and also seemingly the city to give you enough view. And also, these creatures have glowy bits, so I didn't make it pitch black. Ashal, you get the honor of first turn. I don't know where the hell turn order's gone. I think this overlay's kind of too small for me to have it on screen, but you are first.
You got far away.
Yeah. Just checking what range which of my spells have. Probably none of them have anything like that sort of range. 60 foot, 60 foot, 60 foot. Damn it, I need another card so I can get some cantrips that aren't 60 foot.
I just feel like Oshin's like, good lord, is that thing alive?
We already know these things are. What's the range on you? Also 60 foot. I should. I'm spotting
A weakness.
An area of my spells that is a little
What
bit
about your
lacking.
cursed arm?
You are not Akira
1, 2,
yet.
3,
No, not
5,
yet.
6.
Gotta go fast.
It was worth a check. I think I need firebolt
You
or
need to
something.
go for it.
Mental
What a
spear is
fucking
also
sprint.
60 foot. Yeah, but I don't want to sprint and then end up right next to the things.
Make your little bird bones just go. Woo!
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That was a dash.
That was apparently enough to convince Ashal of moving. All right. You're up next, Quill.
Okay, so free smell at will, probably 1, 2, 3. Yeah, probably just move back that, and then having heard the movement, I'm assuming I heard footsteps coming up behind
You wouldn't
me.
hear Ashal.
You
'cause
wouldn't
Ashal
hear
floats.
Ashal floats, but
Ah.
Oshun is also not stealthy. Oshun is big. So you would hear Oshun and then probably hear them, talking, because, it's not,
We
it's
weren't
a very
being-
still area, so you'd be aware of them.
Okay, so free smell would turn with like the contraption in their arms, look over. Friend or foe? And then aim the contraption towards the nearest one of these Evmari. Is it skeletons or are they zombies?
They are skeletons. They are skeletons with psionic energy almost coming out of the holes in their skull where tentacles should be.
Okay, that should be a pretty good shot for the. Let me double check its range. Okay, 150 base. Yes, it's fine. Let's fire the arcane cannon.
Usually whipping out your
That
weapons.
that roll at advantage. Okay.
It rolled
wait.
at. Never mind. There's the thing it does where it defaults advantage when you make a new character sheet.
Okay. Oh, I see. Always roll advantage toggle.
Mhm.
I see it.
Yeah.
There we go.
Go ahead
Alright,
and
I'll re-roll
re-roll.
that.
Which one are you shooting? The one that's closest to you?
The nearest, yeah, that one there.
That's a hit. Yep.
Nice. And 12 damage.
Yeah. That's pretty good. That's enough to. I mean, what kind of injuries does this leave?
So there's probably like when it first fires, there seems to be like a physical bolt that like leaves the barrel of sorts, and as it leaves, there's a small spark, and then it goes into this bluish yellow light that flies forward and has like a small, like a very localized like burst on target.
Have you got white phosphorus rounds?
Like, I mean, there's not. It doesn't continue to burn. It just, there's a poof.
Okay, the Geneva Convention won't be on us. Okay, that is not enough to down the skeleton immediately, but it is like it blows a huge chunk out of it, and it staggers as it starts running. These ones haven't gone full up to a run yet, like the one you saw before. Okay. Anything else you want to do or can do?
I think that'll be it for this turn.
All right, Ocean.
Our prayers for a tank have been answered.
No.
Oh no!
Oh, no.
You had
We've got to wait
Bogdan,
until we
and
pray
you
again.
killed him.
Well,
I remember that differently.
I mean, anyone can be a meat shield.
damn. Do I cast Spirit Guardians now?
Spirit Guardians is 15 feet around you.
Exactly. They're not gonna be anywhere near. I'm just gonna be closer. Yeah. I'm just gonna be closer. Fuck it.
Okay. The dead.
Probably say something. Probably should just skitter over with like spider legs, like.
Yeah.
Against skeletons? Most certainly a friend, I would think.
Very good.
Oh my god!
The one that you shot kind of is reeling back and then snaps forward and will rush. It doesn't actually get to melee range, but it dashed anyway. Now, I need to check something because I never remember to do it in advance. Ah, this wants to be a bingo card. Books. I still haven't randomized that bingo card.
No, I'm in range now. I was just checking another spell, but could have done a bit more. But
Okay, this is enough range. It's going to be against... Honestly, Oshun is the biggest one, and also you just made a loud noise. Please give me an intelligence save.
Okie dokie. How intelligent is Oshun?
The last time he failed.
Oh.
You almost could not fail more.
Oshun failed the crossword this morning.
Oshun hasn't had their morning coffee. It's going to be 15 psychic damage. As the same thing as last time, where the feeling is similar to a Shal or another psychic individual kind of reach to your mind, but this isn't a handshake. This is hands just grabbing and reaching into your mind, but there's also nothing on the other end. It's just like static and psychic force.
Feel unclean.
Yeah.
I just got those points back. Good sleep.
Free Smolder, can you give me an intelligence save?
I positioned
Yes.
myself very well, didn't I?
Not Nice.
You will take half damage. You are quite well
Alright.
prepared against this kind of assault. It would have been 16, but it's half to 8 psychic damage.
8. So, cool.
Ashal,
They're like,
look at them, they've clumped up.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, that changes what I was going to do then. Around there or so, I will cast a Maelstrom. Well, that was absolute rubbish.
The damage is bad. Damage is bad. But they both pass as well. So
This Ebimari skeletons. How do they have strength? How do they make strength saves? They must have like a. I don't know. I'm assuming they have a negative mod, or at least not a positive
you
one.
hit them in the reflex, and it just went boing.
skeletons are not pulled by your mastery of magics. Can I swoosh this in a little bit? That's a question.
Right, I'm going to summon a lich next turn.
You can't always solve your problems by summoning a lich.
That just seems like a way to create more problems.
Thank you. And then you murder them so that they don't do it again.
Free Smolder,
All right.
you're up next.
Okay. That's 10, 20, 30. Let's give some space. And just a little. And the same one I shot, the one that's right next to the torch, is gonna get another shot in the chest. Make sure I'm on normal.
Here's a hit.
And
It's gonna be blown to bits.
Whew.
You see, kind of like as the skull goes flying, the psychic eminence just kind of off, which brings a sense of dutiful satisfaction to you. Anything else?
yeah, that's basically everything I can do. Yeah, that's me.
Ocean. One's running very clearly towards you.
I don't like the movement. I'm going to. Oh dear, it's only letting me do it at level 3. That's okay. I'm
What?
going to summon Spirit Guardians.
Oh, well, it's level 3, so yeah.
Alright.
Okay, Spirit
Many little
Guardians.
spiders just pour out. Probably of the hair. Hair can keep many secrets. And do I have a bonus action? I might just sort of back it up a little bit.
Bear in mind that this only does damage when they enter it for the first time or if they start their turn there.
Maybe I'll go towards him.
Oh, I didn't even see him.
Yes! He's coming at me.
He's coming up.
He's coming up. It's
Okay, so that one will have to make a wisdom save against your DC. It's gonna fail, even though your DC is low. And
As
so
normal,
please roll
they-
damage.
As
Don't
normal,
remind me
they
of how it
pass.
is.
They pass for strength save, and
No, it's just they failed your saves, Ian.
yes,
That's the way it is. Ocean's doing very well with a DC of 12 somehow
Yes,
in these
somehow.
recent fights. It might have been because you were fighting dwarves, not known for their wisdom.
Nice.
That's going to, like, you encroach on this
They
one skeletal
pour into
Ebimari.
the hole.
They pour into the holes and it just loses all consistency and becomes bones that very quickly crumble away into nothing. You end that one in one. But
Tiny
wait,
spider had
there's
plans.
more.
Oh no.
Please give me an intelligence save as Charles. .14 is a
borderline.
pass.
Good.
You're gonna take half damage. That half damage is gonna be 3 psychic damage.
I'll take
That one
that.
did not roll high.
Good.
This one's gonna run, stomping on the torch as it goes past.
Rude.
I feel like I should have some sort of resistance to psychic damage, but I don't. So.
Yeah, I mean, you feel like that should be the way, and yet somehow, if anything, your psychic gateways are very open.
Probably because Ashal longs for connection, but also feels like they need to be punished by the world.
This one is also going to take Spirit Guardian's damage as it runs into the barrier. But please roll damage again. And it's 3d8, not 2d8. By the
Oh
way.
shit.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
my
you rolled a killing blow with many dice.
Well, that makes up for it, to be fair.
Yeah, that one was shit. Alright, Ashal. They're encroaching. The dead!
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Is this thing just going to try to eat my brain if I get close to it? Let's try anyway. Because as Sean is frustrated that this thing, that these things resisted the maelstrom completely. And what do people do when they're frustrated?
Oh no. Make
They
Frank
cast
more-
Inflict Wounds.
Exactly.
I knew where you were going with that. It took me a sec. And there's the Inflict
Oh my
Wounds
God.
crit. I don't think we've had a kill with Inflict Wounds from Ashal before. What happens?
Because this is very different to a lot of Ashal's spellcasting because it is powered by their connection to Uhaga. So literally, Ashal just reaches out, like hand on the face of this thing, and just the smell of antiseptic and the like vague screams that you hear in the background, and then it just sort of, a skeleton can't really have its essence drained very well, but it's like
Oh!
like shrinking
Yeah.
in on
The
itself.
Witch King. The Witch
Yeah,
King's
Witch
bad
King
mouse.
style.
Yeah.
Man.
And then Ashal just and takes couple of steps back.
Free Smolder. The skeleton is right up in melee with you. You do have disadvantage, of course, you try to shoot in melee.
Yeah. Okay. I'm assuming like it's on like a sling kind of thing, so I can just like let go.
I mean, you made it. You could say
Yeah.
it's on a sling, and also it seems
Yeah, I'd say
sensible.
it's on a sling. Yeah. Smoosh, the free will then pull the dagger on their belt and just go in for like as many like hits around like the shoulder, like near the neck, anywhere that's basically like a weak point that could be knocked to put a skeleton at disadvantage. But still
Okay.
just trying to stab. Come on.
It's a hit.
Oh, is that like one? Oh, okay, that was a couple off.
It's 1d4 damage, yeah.
Yeah.
But that was really high damage. Yeah. Enough to instantly get this thing down to half health, but not slay it. So like you do like probably knock an arm off
Oh,
by just
it's
stabbing through bone.
straight through the joints.
Right. Ocean, you're up next.
I'm gonna creep down this way.
Ah. Do you want to do anything else?
No, I'm lame.
I mean, you could huck a dagger or something.
I'll huck a good old dagger.
Or you could just dodge. You could take the dodge action.
No,
although
I'm
to
gonna
be-
huck
yeah.
a dagger. That's more fun. I'm gonna huck it at this one.
To be fair.
Yeah,
it's-
don't be lame and take the dodge action. Let the DM get hits on you. It's the
I
cool
mean, if they're
thing to
making
do.
you make saving throws.
The
anyway,
DM's
it's-
playing too, guys. Let them get a kill or two.
Oh dear, that just hit our new ally.
Never mind. Pretend that you didn't see anything.
Yeah, that's definitely one you have to dodge, Free Smaller. Let's say that. Instead of you getting stabbed.
Careful.
They are all gonna fail except for one, so roll 3 of your damages, because it still does half damage on success.
So it's one,
So one dies,
2, and
one lives.
Ah.
And
go,
one
my
dies.
spiders. And they look
That's
like
crazy.
those little jumping spiders, the ones that like dance.
Well, Spirit Guardians is very, very powerful. It's a reason why I had a lot of like enemy cultists use it at one point. It's clerics have a lot of value for money in their spells.
When that one dies, the little jumping spiders are like,
They celebrate, yeah. They're like little Pikmin. But while you are witnessing your spidery celebration, this Ebermari is going to rush up from behind, and it's going to almost kind of separate its bones and get kind of taller, and the ethereal tentacles are just going to... And they do swoosh through the hair onto the back of your head. You didn't even know you had a back of that head. And I'm going to need you to make an intelligence saving throw with disadvantage because you took damage from them. Your mind is already open, and they're going to do some damage.
but head empty.
Yeah, head's real
Very
empty.
very
So
soon.
you're going to take 5 piercing damage from just the of the tentacles, followed by 3 psychic damage.
Okay. Whew.
Sure.
We sucked out last Tuesday.
Double clicking the mouse. I will move up a bit just in case I need to inflict wounds this annoying thing
Thank you.
next turn, but because I can't really do much else, I am going to toll the dead.
Toll the dead.
Well, that is quite frankly offensive damage.
It does fail. It
Good.
does not die. Free Smolder.
Okay.
This thing is behind
Seven.
Ocean,
10,
kind of at her brain.
One of those.
I would say Free Smolder, as they're like, it's that one crumbled in front of them thanks to the Spirit Guardians. Shmuel runs over, gun still on the sling, but is going to pull a dart and just chuck it at.
It's a hit.
And
Yeah, with a engineer's precision and knowledge of what you're fighting, you can hit the elongated spine in just the right spot to make the Ebermari skeleton, the Dread Flayer, fall to bits on the ground. And even though it's not like you grappled, but you do feel the like release of
I
the
imagine
spines in
probably,
your
like,
back.
on one knee.
Yeah. You see none more of these creatures in your immediate vicinity, but the city is full of them.
Ugh.
Do I know what Free Smolder is?
I believe I am probably not. Other than I think you would get the Fell vibe,
Yeah,
but not
doesn't-
not a Fell Walker or a Shield Head or anything like it.
Should we pack up? Should we retreat somewhere less open? Perhaps.
It would be wise.
All right then.
Yes. As Charl is keeping a wary eye on Free Smolder, not like
So rude.
not gonna trust too quickly.
Already, Free Smolder is the newest baby. The newest child.
There is
He loves.
on the distance of the mist, you see a structure nearby. It is 2 stories, but it almost is elongated on the top story, kind of like a grain silo. It's on the outskirts of the city, but you can kind of see where, maybe roads or pathways would have been, lit by lanterns and such. The mist is starting to clear, though, throughout the city. If you wait around, you'll probably get a better view of the whole place and what is happening around it in a moment of peace.
Approaching that, then, I guess. We can go in there.
Any conversations you want to have beforehand?
Someone snatch the light. Or maybe.
Oh, there's a
not.
torch, yes. Priestmon needs light.
Yes.
I imagine you pick up
grab
your
it.
torch.
Like a
Yeah. I'll also grab the dart I threw. Get back up.
And I also spontaneously remember to pick up the
To
knife.
pick up your knives, yes. What a wild idea, remembering this. Okay, you can approach the building, but you can already tell it is... I mean, first of all, it's leaning. Not all the way, but, you know, as if there was an earthquake or something, or maybe an explosion. The building leans kind of jauntily to the side, and it already had these kind of spokes coming out of it. Ebomari buildings are kind of grown, although you can see a lot of fungal wood interiors. It appears to be some kind of hunting house, and you can hear growling from within, in the very mouth where the doors of this building are blown open and on the floor. There appear to be two pretty large wolves. Wolves are not native to the Underrealm. But these are wolves. They have a kind of pallid white fur, but you can see the glow of their eyes. It would be red. You know, the red glow of their eyes piercing through the darkness.
What are those?
Do I get the impression that they will attack us?
Oh yeah, you are walking up to their territory right now. In fact, they might attack you even if you back up.
Yeah. Oshun will probably command them to, like, scarp her a little bit if she can.
That's an animal handling check.
I have the spell command. Is it still animal handling?
Command, I don't believe affects animals, but go ahead and check. A lot of those spells are very clear.
That would have been.
Well,
really
if you actually want
useful.
to click it.
Oh,
we can-
creature.
Well, yeah, click it.
Any creature, in which case you can command, but that would involve getting up close, probably. You've got to click it, we've got to see. It does say creature. It is 60 feet. You're going to have to get within 60 feet of creatures that want to bite you. You want to do that?
Let's see. Please go away. Cancel. Thank you. I keep trying to click the X, and it's like, try again.
Yeah, the X's aren't usually the one, weirdly enough, in Roll20.
Is it? I'm trying to.
We're not
Okay.
on battle map.
Yeah, I'm just staring at the wrong thing. Yeah. I'm gonna like start creeping, just
Okay.
creep towards them.
Okay. Give me an animal handling to see if you can get close before they attack you. Yeah, that seems sensible.
Priestfield is ready with the cannon, just in case.
You start creeping, getting within range, and you can see them growling. You can see kind of something dripping from their maw in the very dim aether light. You get up close, and maybe even close enough to issue a command, but they start pushing off and growling. It is going to be initiative rolls again.
Okay. Is my spirit guardian still up?
No, you've been walking for past enough time. There is the Nashal off to the left, but the camera's cut him off. It's like an unfortunate photo. He's a bit of a Mike Wazowski. For some reason, the overlay, I tweaked it, and it's the wrong aspect ratio now, and I'll fix it eventually. Maybe. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's doggo time. All right. They're gonna start running at you, Ocean.
Oh lord! And I'm last. That's great. So big, so slow.
They are just gonna surround you, and in a very wolfy way, they will kind of start circling you, but it's clear that they're just waiting for the moment to pounce.
It's like one of those cartoons where they just get swarmed by something immediately.
Swarmed by doggos.
The dream.
Nightmare.
Mighty dream.
It's a Shal next.
I will twin spell a mental spear. Again, actually, hang a minute. Before I do this, I just want to check: does mental spear have an intelligence requirement?
Are you trying to say that doggos aren't smart?
I'm just checking, and the mental spear does not have an intelligence requirement. Therefore, I'm just going to use it on the two of them. What are my damage rolls?
Hey, they might still pass. One passes, one fails.
Does it fail
But
by
this one above is stunned. They failed by like 10 at least. So, that you at least have going for you. Like, as they're kind of prowling around Ocean, you can... And it kind of almost moves the air with your psionic force. The one to north of Ocean will kind of hunker down, start shivering, essentially, trembling.
I'm going to pretend that I only ever targeted one of them.
We're all very impressed.
It's the way of a sorcerer. Free Smolder.
I am going to shoot the one that is not stunned. Put this doggo down.
Poor doggo.
Ooh, 13.
That is a hit. They are big and nasty, but not armored. It's high damage, but the wolf takes the hit and will kind of like start growling your way and start drooling this black ichor even more.
I just remembered the time that Melody rolled a nat 20 to get a pet hell doggo. Dripped acid whenever it was.
Interesting that you'd remember that right now. Ocean, you come here to make peace. One of the dogs is semi-paralyzed. One of the dogs is looking at your new, somewhat insectoid ally with hungry like the wolf.
Oh no, terrible.
You
do
laugh.
They look like that from the surface or from the
You have
shadow?
never seen a wolf before.
Damn it.
That is all you know, is that there are creatures like this. You've seen an eel hound, you've seen a squid hound, you've never seen an elephant fly. But, yeah, all you know is that if it's from the Underrealm, it's from, you know, a part you haven't seen.
It's the free thing in Avatar when they're like, you know with the
Oh,
Just
yes,
a
it's just got a
bear.
bear.
It's just a
It's
bear.
just
a
bear.
So
But it's-
fucked
No,
up.
platypus bear? No, it's just a bear.
That's true. Yeah, it is exactly that kind of moment. Admittedly, though, I think Ocean, just because Ocean is who she is, you would tell that something's not like something's been changed about them. They don't
Yeah.
seem like they should be.
What should my command be? I keep thinking just.
You
like,
can only
if my-
command one of them as well.
Darn. What if it's
Yeah.
like sleep? But then I won't sleep for very long.
No, it's when you need to cast a spell, sleep.
spell.
I
yeah.
will command it to flee. At. They're just doggos.
First level. Yeah, that's
All
just-
right, first level.
Well, yeah, second level would allow you to do both. One of them's stunned.
Oh, that's true.
Definitely doing the stunned one.
Okay, so cast it at second level then.
Do you want to target both or just one?
Both.
Both.
Yeah, so cast it at second level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
They have to make a save. They both pass. By like a lot.
Done.
So you kind of command them to flee, magic flows through your voice. The wolves are not hearing it. That's your action. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Can I dodge?
You've used your action.
Okay.
Bonus action and movement. If you move, you will provoke opportunity attacks.
No, that's it.
Okay. Wolf 2 is on the move. Rushing towards Free Smolder. You would get an opportunity attack if you had a melee weapon ready to strike something, Ocean. That's kind of up to you.
Yeah, if it... no, I don't think Oshun would do anything.
Free Smolder, what's your AC?
16.
It gets a 17. Give me a Constitution save.
Not so good at those.
No!
I'm not good at those.
That's going to be 7 piercing damage, and you can immediately feel just the black kind of substance in this dog's mouth, kind of oozing, dripping, just flow into the wound, like it breaks the chitin, snaps in, and just feel nothing yet, but you are aware enough of your own body to know that that's going to be a problem. And this one is stunned. Ashal.
Anyone to try and respect Oshun not killing things a bit more? We don't have to kill these.
Oshun can pacify, can
Might
spare creatures within her range.
Yeah. I will toll the dead on the one next to Oshun.
Okay. It will fail, and it has taken damage already, because that's the one you damaged. I thought it hadn't. So it takes that big damage.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
1, 2, 3, 4. There you
If you go down to your flank.
go. Nah. I don't want that. I don't want it to attack me.
I don't want that evil on me. Free Smolder.
Again, it's gonna be a case of the gun getting dropped and the dagger getting pulled, and just there's a lot of shanking going on with Free Smolder right now.
Yeah. It's a hit.
It's a shanking kind of day.
Damage.
It's okay damage. I mean, the thing. Probably first time you ever encounter, you stab the creature, red fluid comes out of it. Free Smolder. You've never seen this before.
This is strange. Ow.
That is about the most normal thing I have seen of these yet.
This place is very strange.
Oshun.
Gonna do the Spirit Guardians.
Okay.
I like being surrounded by thousands of tiny friends. And not having to do much myself.
And that's the delegation is the satisfying part.
And I will also...
You're not going to be able to do it.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
I can do it!
Yeah, but
You can
I
do it,
suppose
it's gonna
you
bite
can
ya.
take an attack of opportunity.
But the wolf will bite at your thigh, Ocean, and not quite reach you.
Hi. How did he miss?
Are you wearing armor? And, there's spiders. It's a very stressful time for a dog. They're gonna make wisdom saves. They're gonna fail both.
Yeah.
Spirit Guardians just it compels creatures to fail. So roll 2 Spirit Guardian damages.
Oh!
All right.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
It's not a. We're in a situation where Ian is actively rooting against their wife to succeed in D&D rolls. On the topic of fairness, both of the creatures survive. Although the one attacking Freeze Molder is much weaker. It will briefly do the thing where the ears kind of peel back against its skull. Ashal!
Time to attempt to finish it off. Not gonna go with Inflict Wounds, just gonna break its form.
Woof jelly.
Break form, woof jelly? The creature is going to pass with a 19 Constitution saving throw.
Of course it does, because, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Ian. It's the way it is.
Don't mind me.
Freeze Molder.
I'll just inflict wounds it.
If it lives, yeah. Just inflict wounds can never fail.
All right, so this is at advantage now to do stab. Stab
vantage. It's a hit.
Stab vantage. And
you can put the wolf down. But strangely enough, while you kind of put like a killing blow against it, when the thing falls to the ground, you see that wound slightly heal, and the wolf kind of let out a bit of a wheeze of breath, as if it's still alive.
Don't try again.
But it is, kind of completely pacified. Very strange.
Through unconsciousness.
But yeah.
The ultimate pacification.
Yeah. Oshun learnt a thing or two while working for the Deep Dwarven Police.
That makes me uncomfortable.
You have movement if you want to move through Smolder.
I think we confused working with sleeping with.
That's true. And if anything, you probably taught her a thing or two.
Isn't Ocean's job to sleep with people?
No, that's Cinnabelle's job. Don't get confused.
Yeah, fair.
Cinnabelle is a sex therapist. She's a therapist, but she'll also just have sex with you.
And maybe there's some art therapy in there as well.
There's all kinds of therapy.
yeah, that'll just be my turn. Just move away from the body.
Ocean.
Pat, this wolf boy.
But with.
My mind. Yeah, I've got nothing basically except.
You can
cantrips.
Yeah.
You can throw a dagger.
Yeah.
You can go up and slap it.
Yeah.
Is a valid option.
It is always the ultimate slap is always an option. It's gonna pass. It's gonna take nothing.
I'm uncomfortable with just all these things.
You're the one who walked into a city of the dead. Although I don't think you were expected to find dogs, I guess.
A fair thing to not expect.
Yeah. It's going to fail its wisdom save against Spirit Guardians, so give me a Spirit Guardians roll.
Yeah.
And you might just kill the thing instantly. I don't know.
There are many tiny spiders that dance.
The wolf will live and will go after Ocean.
Oh, damn it. Ocean's just like, I did this to myself.
Ocean, what's your AC right now?
Baby.
Not right now, Zoe. Ocean, what's your AC?
I feel like that should be higher.
Yeah, when did it get? I
I
swear
feel like
it
that
was
should be
16.
You
Why
have
is it
armor.
13?
Because you probably maybe didn't update it or changed it. I don't know.
I don't
16.
know.
It hits exactly 16. So give me a Constitution save. And ooh. You're going to pass the Constitution save, but you are going to take 8 piercing damage as the thing gnaws and grabs at you.
That like stereotypical thing where like she allows the animal to bite, and it's just like, there, strange creature. How much was that? 6 damage?
8. Ashal.
Oh, so shit.
And as Charles is going to attempt to mind sliver this thing into submission. Come on, it can't be intelligent.
Go to sleep.
It fails.
Good.
And it will take all that damage, and it will fall asleep. By asleep, I mean woefully unconscious.
Just gonna tidy them to the side. A shawl.
Yes.
Just like a cartoon, her like arms and legs are like bent.
There you go, you get 12 healing.
Thank you.
Let us enter the building, barricade it somewhat, and then talk. As Charles says, looking at Free Smaller.
I think Oshun would like put a hand on the flank of like the unconscious and probably like kind of like wolf and like just try and like see what it's all about just briefly before they go in. They're so
Be
weird.
a nature check, or maybe an arcana check. Whichever kind of you fancy.
They're both 0.
It's kind of weird. It seems to be a natural animal that has been altered.
Ooh. Alright, how much did you say?
12.
Thank you.
Ah, building. Oh, I see a dog in there.
Where do you think the dogs came from?
Well, yeah, but we didn't know how many dogs were in there.
How near the surface are we?
Not very. These probably these.
I was gonna say, they're like flooding in. It's like, yeah.
This place has many surprises.
Yes. Quite. Be careful.
Oh,
there are
shit.
more within.
I stepped on you, I'm sorry. Just our new
Just a
friend.
big squishy MILF bounces into you. Your first
Not
experience
entirely
of this
unpleasant,
world.
but
Yeah.
Very heavy.
This day just gets stranger and stranger.
Of course, Ori would come in when you said that, Ollie.
Well, look, Ori's all about the daddies. You would get close to the door of the building. You just see the glowing eyes peering out.
I'm not-
Ashal, you can feel almost like a psychic heartbeat from the second floor of the building.
Oh shit.
Let us leave this place for the time being. There is something of power on the upper floor.
Where are we going to shelter?
I don't know. Outside of the crater if necessary.
Back to the cave.
Yes, we should return here and once we have had time to establish various things.
A plan I can agree with.
Retreat! Retreat!
All right, you wanna run away bravely?
Yep. Brave Sir Robin.
Okay.
Monty Python reference for the bingo sheet. I don't think
That's not on there. Because
I could tell, but didn't recognize it.
you can back up probably go to where you spent the night, which would be outside of the crater. Probably a, burnt out little bit of cave or something.
A heroic dank cave.
Free Smolder, that leg that got bitten hurts to walk on, but is not horrible. You can kind of feel... when you have like an infection or something, you can feel the wound festering. It's, maybe only me.
Is there like a medicine check I could do to like maybe, I don't know, do something to try and fix it a little?
Yes, you do a medicine check. It'll be very unlikely to cure it completely with no components or anything.
yeah.
You do a medicine check to at least work out what's going on.
Would Oshun notice anything?
I mean, the wound is enough probably to make this creature walk with a limp. Although I imagine Free Smolder doesn't exactly walk like a regular creature does anyway.
Probably similar, but different, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't
weird.
know how it would be different, but it would be different. Because you're a bug.
Backwards
Oh.
joints.
No.
I was
No.
just imagining just a funky jive.
What are you cool cats doing here?
No. You can go back to your cave, but Free Smolder hasn't been in this cave, and you don't even know each other's names. But both Ocean and Free Smolder are clearly injured. But yeah, that wound is festering.
Welcome to my cave.
But it's not like leaking with darkness, as maybe would maybe make sense. It's just a really nasty wound that's pierced the outer shell of this insectoid creature.
As Charles would, upon entering the cave and when those two are settled, was like, so, you are Uhagan in nature.
Yes, I am what I believe would work in your tongue as Vestige. My name is Free Smolder.
I am unfamiliar with the term, but no matter. Free Smolder, how did you
Indeed.
come to this place? By accident or intent?
Intent. My realm is endangered by long shadows. I have come to stop them.
Then I think our goals may be aligned.
You believe that these shadows are from our realm?
As far as I have gleaned, yes. A disaster happened here, and it caused great pain in my world. This city, or at least the mirror of it, was once my home. There is little left now.
The city on this side was destroyed several years ago by... No one truly knows, but it was wiped out near instantly. I had hypothesized that it must have created a manifestation zone to your plane. I did not
Yeah.
expect it would damage your side as well.
The damage done is similar to this place. The ruins look very similar.
Do you believe that the danger to your plane is simply the bleed through, or is there something active on this side that is causing further troubles?
I do not entirely know. In all honesty, all I know is how to defeat these things. Their origin and machinations are beyond my expertise.
More and more devastation. It seems incalculable. we keep encountering more and more ruinous through lines from this one event. I apologize. My name is Oshun. Are you hurt?
I am wounded, but it shall heal.
We can aid you with this. Oshun, as you may know, is a big lady, just a very big woman. She's like put on more weight since giving birth, and you probably notice like when she fights, she like shunts the baby carrier to the back, and as we've like established a rapport, she'll probably just sort of like bring the baby back to the front, out of the hair, like masses and masses of textured white hair, and of course big old spider face.
Yeah, your your arachnid features are, in fact, almost more bug-like than Friesmolder's, because Friesmolder has like a jaw and mandibles. You just have mandibles.
Oh, well, it's all right for some.
Yeah.
It's
They can
also
kiss.
worth noting that as Charles is over 6.5 feet tall and is floating several feet off the ground, so it's sort of almost on a level with Oshun in terms of height. So you are
I
very
never
small.
thought about
in
that.
contrast.
Yeah. I never thought that you would be flying as the same height of Oshun.
Pretty
That's
much.
funny.
I mean, if I can float equal to the amount of my intelligence modifier, so if
I
Oshun is
wonder
like
if-
8 foot tall.
Are you being a little bitch and like floating a bit higher to be a bit more intimidating?
Yeah, at this
I-
moment,
yeah.
definitely.
Oshun's just gonna.
That's very interesting, because yeah, you would never have been much shorter than other people back home, Friesmolder.
That's
It
it.
is coming
As Charles is a twig, so like they're very thin and tall.
And Oshun definitely like usually takes a knee or something.
Does the little
especially if you're
hand
in a
on knees,
cave.
lean down talk?
No, not gonna spread her legs. And, like, just-
No, that's not what I meant.
No, I mean like,
That's
you know that meme. Where it's
I
like,
know,
don't
but
this way.
because Oshun would do that. I think we all agree.
Okie dokie. I think I got rid of all of my healing things to try.
You haven't got you just haven't got them prepared. You can do them in the morning.
If it, like I can imagine the Oshun goes to heal and there's like and
Need to fucking sleep.
fine. Ashal floats down and will cast Cure Wounds specifically on the wound, trying to expel any poisonous substances. Doesn't have cure poison or disease, but
Gross. I'm just gonna
Thank you.
hold the little baby hands and say, and this little one is the gift.
The gift.
The angry red baby. He
Yeah.
probably won't grasp at you just yet, but it's definitely like
Yeah, new person. The gift is holding onto Ocean's hair, just like strands, like tufts of it, and is like at you
definitely
with
gonna just
with evil eyes.
pulling on that hair.
Yeah. It's like, whoop, you know.
if Free Smolder does appear to question the name, Ashal will sort of roll their eyes. A matter of debate.
Well, he's not shown any interest in things just yet. It's perfectly normal to wait until an infant has shown more of their personality.
I am not debating whether of that nature. What I am debating is, yes, where the child came from. But anyway.
Well, when a goddess and a supplicant love each other
Do you
very much.
Do you really want to reveal that in front of a stranger?
I mean, my position is relatively well known.
To someone who is not of this realm, who might return and bring news to beings beyond our comprehension from hers.
Now, it goes both ways, you know?
Yes, Free
might-
Smolder, these two do start bickering in front of you after like an attempt to heal your wound. It does heal it. It's just you still feel the like throbbing of infection within.
You're gonna need to cure poison and disease tomorrow.
Let me go to sleep, all right? And
You only just woke up.
Woke up, got hit.
Well, we appear to have a common interest at the very least. And to be frank, we could use all the aid we can get in investigating that city.
I must say, that is a phenomenal contraption.
Ah, this.
And I lift up the
Gonna
gun.
hold
American
the
cannon.
baby away.
I don't like point it, just like hold it like that, like.
Oh, you mean this?
Oh yeah.
The
Like
best
you
way
give
to
you a
look at it is down the
demonstration.
barrel.
Like a cartoon, it goes ding 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 around the cave.
No. It's a cool gun. Serious.
Yes, I built it out of parts I found in the city. I was lucky to be outside it when the disaster struck.
I'm so sorry.
Why? Unless, did you have a hand in this? No, you can't have. You were here investigating.
I can imagine I cannot imagine what devastation must have looked like to someone who was witness to it.
Like, what would it have actually looked like? Was it just basically like a someone put like a nuke and put like a negative? filter on it, or-
Your side didn't have the nuke. You just have the long shadows.
Okay.
Yeah. So there are things that have hunted your people on your side, rather than the explosion happened on this side.
We have merely lived with the after effects. That is all. While the city might be in ruins, it is manageable. There are still some of our people left. But we grow lesser but year on year.
Well, let us speedily attempt to resolve what we can. Now we have an entire extra civilization we had no idea about.
It makes sense. Places in this realm are mirrored in Uhaga and in the Fae. I did not realize it would have such a backlash, but it does not surprise me now that I have heard about it. But yes.
Also, it will be truly helpful to have people from this realm with me, for I know very little of this place.
We know very little of this place right here. I could tell you of the other realms that are populated and diverse, rich. This place is as desolate as a poisoned sea.
I could tell you something of its history, so we likely know more than you, but
Ah, yes.
We are-
Lull me to sleep.
we are fumbling in the dark. That said, we have seen other creatures of Uhaga. We saw one of those stone head creatures. You are not the only being that has crossed over from your plane. Your expertise in that and those matters would be appreciated and useful.
and we will bring what knowledge we have to bear of this side. For what it's worth, it was once a city of my people. Although, I do not know what exactly brought its demise. That is part of why we are here.
Priest Mulder, I'm curious. Would you suggest we carry on our plan to infiltrate with a sparse and subtle group? Or should we attempt to muster a more strong force?
I would continue with the small group. Quicker to move, easier to find your way through cities.
Indeed. We are waiting for one more ally. Although she could be with us any day. No sense in delaying, but also no sense in needlessly throwing ourselves into situations in which we could use a subtle sword.
We had intended, and I would suggest still the best course of action is to scout, to make, to prod and make advances in, and then retreat. Gather information while we await our final ally before making any concerted efforts. Hopefully, the more information we gather, the less dangerous it will be to actually advance into the city proper.
I agree with this plan.
Perhaps we can find places where the risen dead are fewer. I would suggest that tower on the outskirts, if we can remove whatever was on the second floor, might be a decent base of operations in the city proper.
No sense in giving Drea nothing to work with, what?
There's not even much of a lull of conversation, but, for the sake of dramatic purposes, I always imagine this little cave you have, looks out onto the city. There is it would be something that, as Charl and Free Smolder would feel stronger, but a purple haze that rises around the city. Almost like there's a light from within that is cascading on the clouds that are hanging heavy around the city, and you can feel a very light rumbling from here, but you can almost more hear it over there as a large, almost snake-like silhouette rises around the tall part of the city you can see. It kind of lingers there. And then, just before you think it's not going to move again, the thing will kind of snap to the side and back down amongst the buildings and haze and fog.
Does that look familiar in any way?
Oh, no. That's a new one.
The
Psionic
situation grows
energy.
more complicated.
Yes. The psionic energy of the song combined with the influence of Uhaga. Do not know, I am guessing.
You may want to explain yourself, darling.
The Evamari, my people, and the beings that became those skeletons are telepathic by nature. We form groups of telepathy. We form what are called songs. The city that was destroyed would have been a great song. Hundreds of thousands of us. It is psionic energy that presses against reality. My working hypothesis is that the influence of your plane would corrupt is the wrong word, but influence that song upon the death of my people might cause it to manifest in strange ways, cause it to gain sentience of a kind, perhaps. Perhaps that is what we just witnessed, floating out of the city.
It seems our realms are caught in a loop of sorts.
Quite possibly. Unless there is... at the moment, my working assumption is that this was not, or whatever is happening to the two realms is not an act of deliberate sabotage by any individual. It is merely the after effects of so much death in a psionically gifted area. But investigation of the city might prove otherwise. We do not know.
All this
We shall have to see.
evil from something that could very well have just been a mistake.
Such is the way of things.
We
Well,
must seek to correct it.
indeed, we must seek to heal.
We should rest for at least an hour or so before we attempt to return to the tower.
With a short rest, am I able to change spells, or is that only after a long rest?
It will say in your spellcasting information, which should be on your sheet,
It won't. be
but
actually.
it probably not.
It's yeah. You can only change spells on the long. I think that's true of every character.
I must sleep.
Well, I mean, we can spend.
You cannot take a long rest again yet. You can wait the entire day. You've only been out for less than an hour. Well, probably more because of going in and out of the crater, but like, you can waste the entire day to take a long rest, or you can do things.
I must recuperate to regain my skills, especially healing. Ugh. However, the day is still young.
We could take a short time to catch our breath and then try another avenue through the city.
Excellent. What do you say, Gift?
You
What do
can
you
take a
think?
short rest, that's fine.
I'm going to continue to talk to this infant like a dog.
Are you talking to them in Common or Elven?
Both. Bilingual child.
Fair enough.
I will, instead of healing, get a preparation point.
So you're gonna tinker.
Yes.
Come on.
Yeah, it's 1 per hour, isn't it?
Yeah.
1 per hour.
Yeah. Perfect.
Regenerating some of my blood points before I. Just so that I have healing in case.
Alright. Before, and maybe so that you can decide what you want to actually do, why don't we take a little break and be back after a few moments. Bah. Hello. So, with the ruined city in the distance, and wounds patched up and tinkerings made, what is it you want to do?
I feel much better.
Excellent. Perhaps we should circuit the city at least as far as we can on the rim of the crater and see if we see any other notable landmarks, any points of entry, or other points of interest, gatherings of the skeletons, places that appear to be under Hagen influence rather than full of skeletons.
Well, I must say, my eyesight is spot on. Well done.
You're welcome.
You see, Ashal, I sacrificed my eyes to unpetrify Ashal. And then Ashal, very recently, swatted up. I don't know why she's becoming more and more English. And restored my eyesight.
A most pragmatic decision.
Well, let's mosey on, shall we?
I agree. The plan to go around the rim and scout out locations seems like the best plan right now. Better than blindly entering any corridor we find.
Yes, we have not been blindly entering every corridor until now.
All right, you want to rim the world? Okay.
Yes.
We never played ever again.
I can go out on much worse than that. Give me investigation checks, you three, because you can safely travel around. It's kind of sat in the middle of nowhere. But it depends what you see, what you find.
Oh dear.
What
Oh
do
dear.
your spider eyes see?
Normally I'm good with intelligence checks. Oh dear.
Charles, you are very preoccupied with the psionic side, which is giving you nothing.
Also, the baby is probably looking right at you.
Baby's looking
Charles'
right
baby.
at you. It's weird.
And Charlotte's like,
Like, Ocean is walking in front of you, but the baby is, like, through the hair and sees you. It started crawling around Ocean. It's not crawling, but, like...
No, I want to kill her.
For the other two, you can see that the city of Rangavu is actually, even before the ruins, is smaller than you thought it was. Partly because it seems that the Ebamari, at least of this more pragmatic hunting kind of cast, didn't need as much space. But there are large spaces between areas of the city. The majority of the city is this tall, kind of almost wasp hive looking structure. You see it between the fogs, between the glow, and you definitely see whatever that thing is you saw. There's just a large moving amongst the city occasionally. You're too far out to see small movings, but in the crater all around are Dreadflayers, the skeletonized Evamari, just wandering. But the city snaps out in some points, like synapses in a brain, into several distinct areas. Very close to the city itself appears to be the most residential area, where even from there you can see the movement of skeletons. The area that you were just at, you don't know exactly the purpose of it, but that seems distinct and kind of separate, and maybe a lot of it has turned to ruin as well. There was also an area kind of to the north that is connected to... Maybe there was a lake there at some point, or maybe a river connected to the lake, but definitely seems connected to whatever the city's waterways would have been. And on the northeast side, there are these big metal tendrils that lackadaisically reached up into the ceiling of the cavern. It looks like they were designed to move. Now they are just rust and plants. But they do reach the top of the cavern. And that seems to be also have kind of a center of buildings around the sort of base of where they kind of join. It's almost like the kind of tentacles of an Ebamari. And then, of course, there's the actual kind of middle of the city itself, where, I mean, if you would have put something important anywhere, put it in the tall building in the middle. So, but it's not like a tower. It's kind of more like a bulb.
Well, it seems as though we want to settle whatever this thing is that you're saying is moving through the city, or reach the center of the city and assess if there's anything that we can do to reverse or close the border between our worlds.
That seems the most reasonable course of action. The psionic energy in the city is chaotic. I cannot make sense of it. That creature, whatever it is, if it even is a creature, I wonder if it is operating on some sort of pattern, some sort of schedule. If it is, we can move freely in the city as long as we are cautious and aware of the time and such like. But if it is acting randomly, then moving in the city becomes a lot more dangerous. It might take observation across multiple days to determine that, I suspect.
We also have to figure out if the creatures can sense us based on that psionic energy, or if they can sense us because we are alive. And then we change one of those things so that they won't see us.
All questions without easy answers.
Yes, but they provide a starting point for investigation. We have a rough idea, and we need more information to formulate more concrete plans.
I don't know. Do we appear... You're in our realm, so it might not be the same anymore. Do you see anything noticeable about Ashal and myself?
Do I?
You can give me a Arcana check.
Besides the fact that we are baller and fly.
Despite the fact that I'm a cool mom. Yes, so... The obvious thing, and maybe a bit of hesitation, is that you have already worked out that Ocean is casting divine magic, and that Ashal... Okay, they said they're psionic. That's something. But Ashal is also clearly wielding sorcery from the shadow plane. Basically leeching power from your plane to cast magic. Which is very in line with the horrible things happening in your plane. And also, just in general, having not actually seen a living Ebamari, the long shadows on your side, which are cast from the dead Ebamari on this side, look a lot more like them. They are these long, gangly things that reach out with their tendrils and leave these lashing marks that you have on you. The connection between them and the long shadows is much clearer now, if there was a doubt, because this was the concept of the long shadows being cast by something on this side was admittedly a bit of a long shot. The only thing you knew is that you couldn't kill them on your side. But that cements that. When it comes to other things you'd glean, I guess if you have any more specific things you want to know, you have a 22. I could maybe give you, but that's really the big one.
Yeah.
Is somewhere in their realm just a Charles floating hand?
Well,
No,
from
because
what you've now seen,
my
it
arm
doesn't
is the
seem.
demonic thing.
It doesn't seem that the mirror is as one-to-one as you thought. You may have thought for a time that every single being casts a mirror. That's not true. It seems only to be true for the long shadows, and that's maybe why they're so dangerous. Because they're kind of a shadow being cast by this dead thing on the other side, and it's become more powerful on the other side. It doesn't seem like these two have mirrors on the other side, for instance. It doesn't seem that mortals have mirrors on the other side. It seems, now that you've kind of been here longer, it seems like grand concepts and structures and points of interest, and the long shadows are an aberration.
Well, we can sit and watch this thing. Can I see it?
The silhouette you saw, you can give me a perception check now. Yeah. You can see it through the cloud. It the way it moves occasionally, it seems to roar, and when it does, you realize that that's rumbling you're hearing is the thing. It's roaring, and when it does, there's a kind of bright purplish haze that rises from it, and it casts through like the windows of the buildings, archways, through the clouds. Kind of similar to Ashar's magic, actually. You can see it a lot clearer now. Whatever it is, it's not dead. It is a gigantic worm or snake. Its head almost appears to be a collection of tendrils and tentacles and multiple eyes, and it seems that the tentacles have more in the way of kind of teeth and barbs. You actually get the idea again, seeing in it, but this is a thing that has been altered. It doesn't actually look like the worms that rummage through the underrealm, because it happens occasionally. It doesn't happen near big cities because of the places where big cities are put. But this city is kind of in the middle of nowhere and is dead. So you don't know if it's just something that's kind of started nestling here and has been mutated, or if it's something that was already here and is going out of control. But it definitely is using this city as some kind of nest? Question mark? You have answers, but also more questions, I guess.
That is fucked up.
A fair assessment.
Agreed.
It would be, by D&D standards, gargantuan.
It's a big boy.
Or larger, really. D&D doesn't go above that. It is big enough to coil above the city and around and still have something
Lovecraftian.
to nestle into the ground. Yeah, and you don't know if it's burrowing into the ground as well. It's too hard to tell.
Just beginning to question existence. Looking at it.
This city is more of that Lovecraftian vibe, actually. When they describe, the city of... Is it the Yith? There's one of the Lovecraftian races that build, these kind of conical cities with, weird chambers. This city, especially now that it's ruined and half of it's destroyed, is very, where would... blah, 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 blah. It doesn't necessarily make 100% sense. Whereas Ebamara, when you were there, you were only in very small parts of it. You're like, oh, okay, we need to see someone. We're going to go into the elevator and we're going to go up to our meeting. But actually, the living quarters for a psionic race, it's very different. Just the way they live is very different. So the city itself is a bit boggling. Not, I'm seeing dimensions that don't exist, just it's hard to comprehend
Got
the
those
why
Dr.
of
Seuss
things.
steps.
I guess it's Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss is just children's Lovecraft anyway.
You seen his adult art?
Yeah.
Haunting. I love it.
I was going to say it's not quite the Drukhari in the web way then with like
No, but you know what? Honestly,
Kind
the people around Ruth kind of almost are the Drukhari to the Elder, almost.
Yeah.
I can assume that there will be no fighting that thing. So we watch, we have a little picnic, crack out the rations, have a sit.
If it comes to fighting it, we have probably already failed, barring we find some sort of weakness or something to it beforehand. Certainly marching in there and taking it on straight up would spell our doom. I have no doubt of that.
Ration? Free smolder?
They'd probably look at it like they're still pondering the idea of like, how do we go through the city? How do we deal with this thing? And then you offer like, look at it.
Oh, it's probably a berry that came through the that's sort of a bit fucked up from that stall.
It's the
might be
pemmican
tasty.
berries. Yeah.
Fucked up berry?
They'll take one and sort of sniff it.
It smells very strong.
Always a
Bite.
positive.
You feel a
Die.
explosion of flavors you've never tasted before. And to Ocean, these taste very bland.
Not exactly going to make a fantastic jam, is it?
That might be the most tasty thing I've ever eaten in my life.
Oshun is going to lean down towards you because Oshun cannot be helped. Oshun's a sinner and is just going to say, darling, surely not the most delicious thing.
There are flavors within that berry I have never had before.
Well, here's hoping that our relationship can elucidate many more colorful experiences for you.
Freesmell just like blinks, not quite, not quite getting it.
Do you have both eyelids?
Well, that didn't take long.
Can I
I'm
have
sure
more
don't
berries,
know
please?
What you mean? Begins to feed the child.
Freesmell, there isn't a child.
No, the actual child.
Actual child. The baby.
Baby. The baby.
So, other than tasting new flavors you've never tasted before, what's the plan next? You've explored around the city, seen areas of interest, seen the worm. What are you interested in doing?
It's so fucked up. We should all probably whisper the worm every time you say it.
It's like one of those thingy, one of those memes where it's like the welcome to Rangerfoot. We've got fucked up city, scaly tentacles, the worm.
The worm. They do that in the new Critical Role. One of the creatures, one of the players is spooky, and when they cast message, everyone else around the table is like, hi, 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 hi. It's very funny.
I haven't seen a new one yet, and I'm kind of hype.
It's
Anyway.
fun.
We should take watchers watch the worm so that our attention stays held?
Yes. Yes.
Do
At
you
any
want-
rate, we will not return to the city proper and that tower until the morrow. So.
Rock, paper, scissors.
The question I have is, do you want to go into the city tomorrow, or do you want to spend a couple of days watching the worm like Ashar suggested?
Maybe 2. I don't think we have to spend a great deal of time. If it's got a pattern or not may become apparent, unless its pattern is like...
Yeah, I mean...
Depends how well you roll intelligence checks.
Yeah.
Oh, shit!
I just want to...
You could do something else.
I just want to note something, because if we're going to spend a couple of days waiting and watching, before that, Ashar will pull out the locket from Zahal again, and will with thoughts of, it would be very good to have some way of measuring time. I assume that chronomancy can do so, Zahal, and will extend telepathy to the locket.
Everyone else has got a watch. Like, what?
Well, this is a pocket watch. It's a pocket watch, locket watch.
Yeah, that's true.
So there are 3 obvious different clocks on this locket. And you've realized more that there are different ways they interact, also measure other things, but they stopped. They all stopped at some point. The one that is a regular 24-hour surface watch with months, which you don't understand because you don't have months, but they said it'd just be letters, does start ticking, and then it will, and this kind of tunes itself to the right spot. Noticeably, when you're and you're kind of, maybe hovering around to another point to rest, one of the other ones starts ticking. It's not the one that was ticking down. That has completely stopped. But one of the other ones starts, not really ticking, just kind of spinning. It starts reacting to something. It's kind of when you're south of the city, because you're kind of walking around the edge of the crater.
The alethiometer. It's working.
I just thinking, is that one a compass? A very strange.
They all stopped before.
They all stop.
So now now it works as a watch. But
Good.
another
That's-
one is spinning. And the one that was ticking down is still stuck wherever it was at.
Can I help Ashal figure this out?
Depends how.
I was just thinking of aid if you were going to roll something, but I mean...
I don't think I've got a roll here. I'm trying
you
to
can
work
probably
it
just
out.
use your brain, figure it out.
Yeah. Well, at the very least, I have a way of keeping track of time. I can keep track of when that thing approaches certain areas. This thing's going crazy. I wonder if it is somehow linked to psionic energy. It's somehow linked to something. At any rate, it is an interesting little thing, but not immediately relevant, probably. Darn it, Sahal.
Who knows? Maybe I could have a look.
Ashar will definitely eye you slightly distrusting, but will hold it out for you to examine. Probably wouldn't actually let go of it, but would let you float down to your level and would let you examine it and poke
Okay, yeah.
around
They'd
it.
probably go a take and then seeing you're just holding it and then not moving away. Okay, all right, I get it. And then, can I try an Arcana check?
Sure.
I really thought you were sitting down. 'Cause
9,
why would
no.
you stand this whole time?
It appears to be measuring time.
Oh. May I have a look at it?
I'm afraid I don't understand this thing. I know it counts time, but I understand nothing more.
That is about as much as I understand. It was given to me by a mad chronomancer.
My God, was he creative?
It was my request to learn chronomancy, and this was what I was given. I assume in some way
One day.
it will help aid me in that, but I have not yet determined how.
Maybe it is your path right now that he set you on to figure it out.
Perhaps. What concerns me is the hand that was ticking down stopped ticking down.
Oh yes, no. Doom.
At any rate, yes, we should observe that worm for at least a couple of days, try and determine if it has a pattern of any kind.
Charles, it's been 5 hours. We've been staring at this thing all day.
Yes, and that isn't enough of a sample size for a being of this magnitude. We need at least days. I would prefer weeks, but we do not have that luxury. Do you wish to walk into the city only for it to suddenly appear around a corner?
Give me that thing. I want to look at it.
Fine.
Thank you. May I do an Arcana check?
Yeah.
It's very
I'm just very
pretty.
glad that you didn't roll that one there.
I wish I'd done it.
At least if you rolled a nat 1, something would happen.
Oh.
Yeah, this is very much a
does.
you are now you. It's probably the first time you've actually
Grabs
got.
it.
Oh, I don't
That's
even know if you'd let the baby grab it, but like, you've never really looked at this thing before, and you can tell it is a clock. I mean, clocks in the Underrealm are often different. You can't really exactly use a sundial, but you saw the one in front of the It's a surface clock, because it's the same as the one in front of the Law of Lords. But other than that, you don't know anything about it.
Fuck if I know.
And Charles just like sort of makes a motion with the tentacles that is clearly like that was as expected, sort of
I
thing.
bet Ashal feels much more reassured at this failure. of other
Yeah,
people.
If Ocean worked it out and Ashal couldn't, I don't know if that would be good for Ashal.
No.
It'd be a second disaster right on this spot.
Okay. You watched a worm. I'm going to need investigation checks. This is for 2 days of watching. If you want to do something else, you can.
Someone else? Or should I just go for the roll?
Or you could do something else entirely.
I don't think there's assisting here
Oh,
because of the
I
nature of
swear
this
that
role.
someone could like.
You can, but this is like an
it's not-
overtime. Each person kind of has to kind of keep track of it themselves.
Okay, I'll go for the roll.
Like assisting someone is like I need to give someone a leg up to get over this wall, sort of thing. That was intimidation you rolled, not investigation.
I glare at the worm.
A worm glares back.
Oh.
Oh wait, no, I have +3 intimidation. Fine, I'll roll again.
That's
Ouch.
more what I expected. Ashal, you watched a worm for 48 hours. You realize that this creature does have a degree of a schedule, an incredibly precise one. It travels through the city in the morning in exactly the same way through 2 of the areas you witnessed. It goes to that kind of house that you were at with the wolves. But it doesn't go, it kind of goes like around it and kind of waits in front of it, and then it goes around to where these metal tendrils reach further out. And then, what it does after that, for a period of several hours, appears completely random. You get the impression that it has a schedule, but has been disrupted by there not being living members of the city. And then after a while, it kind of resettles into an exact schedule again. It reminds you of any kind of servant creatures made by Ebamaro, such as squid hounds pulling chariots, or things like that, where it's like, oh, we made this, we can imprint exact timekeeping into it. So this thing was made by the city clearly beforehand. Although which city, I guess, is a question. But it kind of is maybe waiting for commands or something from the city which aren't coming, and then it just kind of sometimes acts chaotically. One time it starts smashing at the buildings, the other time it just waits. And then it kind of goes around and kind of, on what would be the daylight hours on your clock, it goes underground. And it would be ready to leave at nighttime on your clock. Now bear in mind, you aren't keeping to this clock schedule because it's a surface clock. But yeah, I don't like. Yeah.
We at least
It's
theoretically
nocturnal.
have sort of the 12-hour window or something where it's
12-hour window where it's completely. As long as you don't go underground, you shouldn't encounter it. But there is like a 2-hour window where you have no idea what it will do.
Okay, that's good. Ashal will relay all this, and then we'll say because it specifically stopped outside of the house we almost went into, right?
There was a thingy there.
Yes, I wonder if it is reacting to the psionic or source of power that was on the second floor somehow.
Would we be able to destroy it?
Perhaps. My concern is what the creature will do if we do. Might be keeping it under check.
I wonder. Ocean will stare at the thing and see if she can feel empathy with this creature.
Before, all you could work out is that it is alive. It's too far away and too. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of up to you, I guess. But you know, it's alive. It is a living thing.
Yeah. Just, I think it's usually a tell if it's like sentient to an extent. Like, how much, like, life? Oh, now I'm getting existential.
You don't have the same tell as the shield head, because the shield head, you were like, I don't know, and then it started limping and like tending to its wounds, and you're like, oh, this thing, other than the stuff I've told you, that's all you have about it. Maybe you find the fact that it kind of acts chaotically endearing. Maybe you find it is merely some kind of automaton. That's up to you.
I think Oshun is like on the fence, like, because something can be trained to receive orders. And also, if everything is like half dead or like in this weird state, then it may have been reduced to automatic processes.
How like the because you've described Ebimari creations, presumably they are sentient but imprinted with a set of commands, I would assume. Rather, they're not like automata.
But depends. Catcher Owl seemed very intelligent.
Yeah, true.
And Catcher Owl was a swarm of rats.
We loved her.
True.
Yeah, so you've only... Because what you've seen is not all the things people have made. So it's too wide a zone for you to really know much about.
Well, one way or another, I think our first port of call should be that building. We should attempt to discern the nature of whatever the power is on the second floor, and if we feel it appropriate, destroy it. We should probably do so during the time that the worm is underground.
Should we wait for Drea?
How long has it been since you sent the message?
I don't know, you have the watch.
4 days?
She will probably take weeks yet. I think we should attempt to at least, if it was on the second floor of that building and did not respond to us, I hypothesize it is probably incapable of moving. We can probably escape if it turns out to be something of beyond our capabilities.
All right.
Then let us make for the building when ready.
Yes.
I will change my spell.
Yeah, get ready for a fight because we've got wolves, even if we don't have a fight in the second.
We've got wolves! Welcome. You've got wolf
I'm guessing
mail.
that counted as a long rest while we were doing all
Yeah,
that.
and you would be able to prepare enough science points while tinkering over the knights and whatnots, even with the fact that they time out after a while because you've been not doing anything.
What's
So
the max
you would
can
be
have?
full. It was equal to your int modifier, I believe.
Modifier, yes. So I have 3 preparation points.
Mhm.
Nice.
I want to try and talk to something.
I shall delete ocean spiders for now. When you start walking back up to the house, building, you are more aware now of the signs of where buildings could have and would have maybe been. Looks like more animal pens, perhaps, based on the alignment and maybe twisted bits of metal cages you see. Well, they wouldn't be metal usually; they'd be like made of kind of bone. But when you are all ready, you can approach the hunting house.
I've got it.
Okay,
Let's go.
you can approach the house. There's the growling of wolves. We have the diddly 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 diddly. And I'm going to need you to roll some initiatives. Wolf initiatives.
Pins and needles.
Nice.
No, wolves. Oh! Ah. It's been several days, so I won't actually punish. But your wound, Free Smolder, has not gotten better. In fact, your hit point
Right.
maximum has reduced by 8 this morning.
Ooh.
Let's say it took you like 2 days to fester. But you are
38 max. Ouchers.
you are weaker,
Please.
especially on that leg. Wolf! Oh, they weren't expecting you this time. You can come up with actual initiative. And... Free Smolder, you will be able to act first.
All right. So let's.
All right.
1, 2, 3, 4.
All right.
5. Now that like substance that these wolves are affected with, is that? Would I reckon that's something to do with all the shenanigans and the long shadows that's going around here? Or
It seems that it was done to them before.
Okay. All right. In that
Yeah.
case, then, it's not the arcane cannon that I'm going to use. I'm going to use just my light crossbow.
Which is the cannon, it's just not shooting, it's... Or is
Okay,
do you
yeah,
have
yeah.
both? It's up to you.
I kind of assumed I had both.
Sure, you can have both.
All right. So light crossbow instead. I am going to aim at the little wolfie down on the bottom there, to the south.
Little Wolfie,
Little
down
wolfie.
at the bottom.
Oh no.
Yeah, like, okay, you gotta be quiet. Shoot, ting!
Go.
Clatters off the metal, and you just see all the eyes in the darkness. More than you saw before.
That was not part of the plan.
I believe that's
I
everything.
think that's it. Ocean.
Oshun is gonna notice that you are fucked up. Like, pat you maternally. And
Ocean's full health. Free Smolder is full health. Ah.
let me heal the bay.
Yeah, that would recover. That would recover the like you would see the kind of dark ichor like pull out of the leg. It won't heal the hit point maximum, like your hit points, but it will increase your max HP back to where it was.
Nice.
Yay!
And for an hour,
Thank
you have
you.
advantage against these checks, which is actually probably better. More useful than the other thing.
Ha ha ha. ha.
Okay. Vishal.
Gonna cast Mind Sliver on the one down that Priest Smolder attacked.
Are you ready to see a wolf pass an intelligence check?
Well, I mean, I rolled 2 damage, so I don't really care, to be honest.
Its negative modifier makes it a failure, so it does take that 2 damage.
Excellent.
Congratulations.
Yay. Typical.
The wolves rush from every direction within the hunting house where they were once penned.
Woo, 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 woo. Have you ever seen those videos of puppies learning to howl?
Oh, yeah.
Imagine those puppies covered in blood.
Oh my
Priest
god,
Smolder.
there's more of them.
What?
Okay.
There are a lot more, yeah. You,
Okay.
One has rushed up close, 2 around Oshun, and 1 is leering.
I am going to risk the opportunity attack and move back. So 1, 2, 3, 4,
gonna
5,
miss.
6. Okay, good. I'm then gonna spend a bonus action. I'm going to use Elemental Overload as a bonus action. So my shot will deal an extra 3d6 damage. Because I'm going to use the Arcane Cannon on this one. Because you know what? Tried the crossbow and it failed me. So
Yep.
that one that ran up next to me, I'm going to fire the Arcane Cannon.
It's a hit,
It's a hit.
luckily.
Okay, good. And then an extra 3d6 Radiant.
Yeah! There is a
That's 32 damage.
blast of the sort of white fire off the thing that, for the 2 sunlight-sensitive people in the room, is painful. And the wolf kind of has to hunker down. Its claws dig into the dirt and the wood, and it's severely burned, but does not actually go down from that strike.
Oh, I was just imagining that they might Dragon Ball Z fade away.
Just gone.
They would have if they died, I think.
Okay.
Oshun.
Fairy Guardians.
Oh. Is it time?
I am realizing that it is one of the best things that I'm capable of doing.
Okay.
Would I get opportunity attack if I try and creep towards that other one?
If you leave their range, they will attack you, yes.
Right. Yeah, so there's my action. I'm not going to move anywhere. I think that is it.
Okay. It's going to be a shawl. Next.
Ashar's actually going to take a step into combat with this thing and is going to Toll the Dead. It has a minus D4 from the Mind Sliver.
Ooh.
The one next to Ashar, that is.
It does. Well, that's useful. That's going to make it fail. It will die, and by die I mean go to sleep, because Oshun is near enough and cares enough.
I have been completely forgetting this ability ever since I took Blood Mage. So I will attempt to get myself a blood point, please.
Mm-hmm.
No.
That is a failure.
Oh well.
Good try.
Yeah, it costs nothing to do.
Yep.
Okay. Wolftown, USA. Coming up!
But we're in England.
Oshun isn't.
Oh
Oshun, you're gonna get bitten!
no!
Please give me a constitution saving throw.
Yeah.
It's gonna be 3 piercing damage when you're ready to take that.
2
And you are going to feel the poison sink in, where those teeth scrape ya.
Shite.
I'm
The
going
one
to
in
take
front.
one point off, I assume.
Oh, rude!
There you go. I get a blood point. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The one in front of you is trying to kind of bite at you, but just gets mouthfuls of hair.
All according to Keikaku. How much was the poison damage, did you say?
3. Ashal,
Fighting. 3 poison.
you're getting bit. No, 3 damage altogether. Doesn't do any
Okay.
poison yet.
I got you.
Ashal, give me a Constitution save. You are going to take 8 piercing damage when you are ready to do so.
I'm never ready to do so, Ollie.
You are going to pass the save, but yeah, the wolf gets like a big bite on the hand or something. For that damage. Freeze small there.
I am going to. Okay, so I can't use it like that. Right, okay, that's fine. I'm gonna move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that'll do. Actually, I'll move 1 step closer. So that's. Oh wait, no, sorry. Realized I only moved 25. I'm moving 1 step further than I should have been this entire time. I only must be 25. Not
It's so
30.
instinctual moving 30 feet.
Yeah, because Peep also is 30 feet in Thingy Rock and North, so I'm used
Nearly
to moving
every character has 30 feet. I very rarely lower it unless it like really makes sense. And you're just slow to bug people, you know?
Yeah.
You're never in a rush.
Alright, so the wolf that's behind Shun, I am going to hit with the arcane cannon.
Which
No fancy
behind?
tricks. The one on the left.
Okay.
This one. Oh,
That is a miss.
darn. I believe that's my turn.
Ocean, do you want to cast protection from poison on yourself?
Yes.
Okay, you do see the same thing, just like you can
Sorry,
draw it
Charlotte,
out like.
but parents have to put their own masks on before they put their children's on.
You are now safe from the COVID. Okay. Ashal.
Well, Ashal's just going to step round, and you know what's coming.
Die.
And they don't
Yes.
stop coming, and they don't stop coming. Doesn't make sense or to live for inflict wounds.
Oh, stop it. Oh my god, it's you.
That's a hit.
It's coming from my laptop and it scares me every time.
You can mute a page.
I'm like, did I touch something?
Sorry, did you say that hit, Ollie?
Yeah, it's a hit.
I want to steal a blood point.
Mhm.
Give me blood.
Stop stealing blood from
That's you
everyone.
steal some blood. No, you don't.
Drat.
No.
You need to be higher than them. Yes.
Okay, 12.
I read it
know
wrong.
my turn.
Okay. Wolves need to make some wisdom saves against Spirit Guardians. Only 1 fails, the other 2 pass, so give me 3 rolls. Because even on failure, they still take half damage. Your Spirit Guardians is slightly busted. Well, the one that dealt 5 damage is the one that dealt max damage, so that's, you know, good. Emotionally. So they're still trucking. Let's bite Ashal first.
Lovely.
Ashal, what's your AC right now?
Let me just double check. Yes, it is 12.
Look, you know. I don't. Give me a Constitution save, you smartass. It's going to be 6 piercing damage, and you are fine against the poison. Oshun, getting double teamed by the wolves, is gonna get bitten once. Give me a Constitution save with advantage.
Yay!
Poison.
Oshun's also going to say Ashal and wave her hand in your direction. Implying healing. Or at least poison.
You are going to take 4 piercing damage and not get poisoned, and then the other wolf It's going to also bite you. Give me another Constitution save with advantage. That one's going to be 3 piercing. You, despite your resistance, eventually the poison gets through. You're getting bit from every side by these wolves, and eventually one of them will get through.
Just gnawing.
Just gnawing. You got a lot of meat. They want the meat. Free smolder.
I am going to. Yeah, I'm going to choose another elemental overload.
Mm-hmm.
So it's another preparation point, and I'm going to blast the same one as last time, the one that I missed.
Blast them.
Blast.
Dang.
16, and then
That is a
another
hit.
3d6. And another. Oh!
Wow.
So that's 12, 28 damage.
Yeah, it's gonna take the hit. It doesn't go down.
Yeah. God damn it.
Anything else?
No, that's all.
Ocean, you are getting scratched and scraped, and even with the poison resistance, you are now poisoned. You can tell. What would you like to do?
Gonna bitch slap this one next to me.
Which one? You're next to 3. Okay.
This.
Casting Vampiric Touch dispels Spirit Guardians. And you've already rolled it. No backsies. But you miss, but the spell is still in effect. Spirit Guardians, Vampiric Touch is concentration. It gives you an empowered slap for the minute or so. So, you got that going, but you missed. Like a chump, so. Ashal, you're up next.
I want some more wolf jelly.
Oh. Oh.
It's gonna fail. It's gonna take 7 acid damage. It's gonna live. And you're gonna get some blood! You can grab the wolf, start dissolving its energy, and the very life force can sap into your hand from the poor, tortured animal. Free
That I
from
got
the
myself
horrors of
into.
Spirit God. Yeah.
You don't even know.
You don't want to know what Ashal's inventory is.
You don't want to know what Ian is capable of.
That's also true.
This wolf is going to bite Ashal. It's going to miss. Then multiple bites against Ocean. 1 is going to hit.
No.
It's going to be 8 poison damage. And can you give me... actually, it doesn't matter if you get poisoned again. It literally doesn't. You're already poisoned. And the other one is going to hit as well for 3 piercing damage.
To be fair, you are getting pretty unlucky with being hit, considering you have a decent AC and these are wolves.
But they're spooky wolves.
Spoopy.
Spooky, spooky.
Right, free smolder.
Let's take... Come on, let's finish off that one on the left. Let's do it. 10 damage.
It's a hit, yeah.
Yay.
That one will take the wolf down.
Nice.
It'll tumble against the door on the ground with a...
And yeah, that'll be my turn. I'm just sitting still, sniping away.
Yeah.
Pretty
When you're a
Are you like flying
bug
on your
insect,
belly?
you are the tripod.
Yeah.
It's probably like a notch for like where your knee carapace like locks in, and
Oh,
you make do with what you got when you're a bug.
Mm-hmm.
Ocean.
gonna.
And you've got vampiric touch.
Vampiric touch is still up, so you can basically swing with that again.
If you
You have advantage against the one between Ashal and yourself.
I shall. Gonna slap it. Do I have to roll a particular? Wait,
You roll Vampiric touch.
be in there.
There it is. Yeah, I found it. Thank
So make sure you have advantage.
On list. Yeah.
It's going to be a miss. You got so lucky with Spirit Guardians, and yet the slaps are not
They're
ready.
just not gonna catch these hands. I should just keep my tiny little spider armada.
Well, you gotta reach down, Adam. That's the thing. You're like Ant-Man when he become big Ant-Man.
No, they're
goes
just
like,
like
"Rrr."
chihuahuas.
Ugh. Don't discredit my fantasy land by reminding me that chihuahuas exist.
Fine, Pomeranians.
That's way better.
I'm just gonna toll the one between me and Ocean.
Wisdom. It's gonna pass.
That's a smart doggo.
I don't want to waste and inflict wounds on a nearly dead wolf. Perhaps I should have done.
Just the dog, like the wolf, just looks up at you, just like that does not toll for me. It tolls for me.
They've been able to talk this whole time. You just haven't asked them anything.
That's
You
so
have been
funny.
unwise to come into our house. The house of wolves.
You can see the sign. It says
Wolves only in the house of wolves.
It's just a bunch of paw prints just on the wall. Like different number of toe beans.
We cannot handle being adorable. It's not a curse. Anyway, they're gonna bite you. They're gonna bite a Charl. They're gonna miss. Gonna go and bite at Ocean. She's gonna hit for 8 piercing damage. Continuing to strike. Free smolder.
Looking hecked.
Let's see if we can finish off that one between Ajal and Ashun. Fire the arcane cannon.
Fire the arcane cannon.
Oh! Badness. Bad, bad, bad.
You hit the frame of the door. The building shakes and leans more.
Shit.
From outside, you can see it's quite tall on the second story, sway. And you can hear you can swear you can hear the sound of complaining about it from up above.
Is the house itself
Oh my
Alive.
God.
The House of Wolves. Ocean!
Final bitch slap. Go! I'm gonna go on the one between us as well because
Uh-huh.
I'm not succeeding. I'm just not succeeding. Why?
That's a hit! You deal 8
Ah!
damage and heal for 4 because it doesn't have Oh no, you heal for necrotic damage dealt, so you heal for 6.
You
And
got
the wolf
half
is
the
die.
necrotic damage down,
Yeah.
but-
Half the but it had less HP, but it's damage dealt,
Your
not
blood. That's not giving me my
You
blood.
take your own blood.
You accidentally just onto Ocean's hand, oh no. You accidentally call Ocean teacher mom. It's very embarrassing. Ashal, it's your turn.
Toll the dead on that last one. While I move around. 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's gonna fail. It's gonna take the full 17 damage,
Well, I suppose
leaving
I
it
can-
very injured.
I can move for 1 or 2.
It's going to retaliate by trying to bite at a Charl, which will hit. Charl, give me a Constitution save.
This is entirely your fault.
Thank you.
I just want you to know that.
You're gonna save against the poison, but you are gonna take 6 piercing damage. Freeze Molder, right?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And put the poor doggo down.
To sleep.
It's a hit, but it's not a kill.
It was nearly a crit. It was nearly a
It was
crit.
nearly a crit.
Well, I'm getting the nat ones out on the mean. on the meanness roll.
Sure.
That's how this works, right?
No. Next up is Ocean.
Slaps. Wait, I'm gonna move first. Sorry to just get right in your way, but I want that advantage. Is that
Big
enough for
butt in the
advantage?
face.
Yes.
It's a hit. It is a kill, and you heal for 5.
Go to sleep.
You just like grab its face and like, no, sleep. Shove it on the ground. Like,
It's like in Age of Ultron, just like, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep.
yeah.
Yeah.
Seems no wolves are attacking you presently.
Well,
I think I heard someone upstairs during my misfire.
so cool. Oh yes, fuck, healing.
So cool, you get some of that too. It's an AoE, like.
Yeah.
So you get the 4 HP heal and 2 temp HP on top of that.
7 HP here and 2 temp HP because I upcast it.
Oh dear. I should have done healing word before now.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, who needs healing?
I think probably all of us to some extent. I healed a bit. I gave you got 7 HP and 2 temp HP back off what I just did.
Thanks. I don't think I can do it like 3 times. So.
No, I wouldn't want you to use your spell slots not that much. I still have cure wounds left.
And what was the other one? 10?
2 temp.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I can still like rely on vampiric touch and stuff.
And I can get blood points back for cure wounds off hurt defense as long as I'm next to him.
Okay. Is
Bear in mind that if you cast Mass Healing Word, you don't have 3rd level spell slots to use Vampiric Touch.
yeah, and I'm not doing that. I'm talking about healing word.
If you want to. It's not going to do a huge amount.
I want to cast Sense Darkness.
Okay,
The
go ahead and
racial
click it.
thing.
Yeah.
That.
You reach out your senses and sense nothing in this place,
Okay.
above or below. Actually, not true. You would sense the malaise of a organic material saturated with darkness from this world, almost like a Shal as a sorcerer.
It's just you're going.
It's not a jarl, or is it?
No,
or
it's
am I
above you.
thinking-
It's on the floor above you, in the middle of
Okay.
the floor. So it'd be like here above. And you can feel it's like this just large organic mass that is not of shadow, but is filled with shadow.
I still have healing potions.
I never know what Sai is a Charl and which one is Ian.
You
How much phlegm is there?
upstairs? You heard something upstairs, you said.
Yes, something. I couldn't pick out the words, but they said something when I struck the building by mistake.
Hmm?
And there is
Oh.
something in this building, steeped in shadow, something living.
Sentient.
Then we attempt communication, and if it seems non-communicative and powerful, we flee. But I am loath to leave this place now that it might be infested by
Doggers.
skeletons again if we leave it and come back, even if we are wounded.
Then
Should
let
I
us
take
press
a-
on.
Glance
Yes.
around.
I
It's
can't see
mostly
any-
just cages for the animals when this place was organic. The cages have largely been broken by the waging of time.
Every time I step on someone, I'm like, I'm so sorry. After you. After you. I'm just gonna block this up like those kind of spiders that have like plugs.
Oh no.
They're just like. bloop.
Oh
I'm
no.
gonna need y'all to roll initiative again.
Oh
my
no.
Just for good
God.
measure. Just so I know where you are.
Oh no. Oh no, I don't like this. This is what I feared.
Brains.
Brains.
Or it's one of the many things I feared, but
Eating your brain.
As you turn around the corner up the stairs, you see enwreathed in a... This is horse music, not exactly what I want. This large... It does appear like a brain, although not exactly the one of any specific living creature. Large, but not, incredibly obscene. The sizing of it here is almost more for the casing. It's wrapped in these chitinous spines, but it's still very visible, and these synapses all around kind of twist and kind of go out of the building, and they pulse with the same pulse of the brain, which is pulsing with a darkness and a pinkish purpliness. You can kind of sense the crackle in the air of it about to manifest a darkness, Free Smolder, just before it can. You can get a turn.
I am going to Elemental Overload with my last prep point, and I will, without hesitation, I'm going to fire a shot straight at it. Come on, baby.
No hesitation, deviation, or repetition.
50.
It's a hit, but the damage right now is trash.
Better. That's still
It's
like 50
better, but it's
damage.
not the instant kill I almost wanted for you. It's like you strike the thing and there is a flash and it does wheeze and kind of deflate and inflate. And you actually hear from somewhere above it, someone else, it's not the brain, go, wow, 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 you gotta hit it again, kid! But that's when the thing... That's when the darkness enwreaths around you. Dark shadow tentacles, like that cast from the long shadows. All of you, give me a dexterity saving throw.
oh no. I mean, it could have been worse. It could have been a strength saving throw. Okay, fair enough, I suppose.
Okay! Free Smolder, you are not restrained, the other two are.
Okay.
She's just like, what is it? Should we flee?
And because you're like in the going up the stairs, they're just gonna like grab and crunch you up against the ceiling, Ocean. The very touch of these things starts to burn and seethe at the skin. Ocean and Ashal are restrained. And going to take... that's going to be 17 necrotic damage each. Now, Ashal, if you're wearing your cloak, you have resistance to necrotic.
That is true. I do have resistance to necrotic. Excellent. I like that. So that's...
And in fact, Ocean, being restrained by the tentacles, as you start your turn, you are going to take more damage. It is going to be an extra 12. But then you start your turn. You are restrained, but you'd be surprised what you can still do while being restrained. So, what would you like to try?
Vampiric touch. 'Cause,
Like on the tentacles?
I assume I'm touching them if it's got.
They are touching you. You could try and grasp at them, but you'd also know that they are magic.
Yeah. It's not a corporeal thing.
You can try.
I've got dispel magic. like.
Not the worst idea, to be honest.
Any
Okay.
spell of third level or lower.
I'm going to need you to make me a wisdom check.
Should I?
Just
Do it
regular
first?
wisdom. Yeah.
Okay.
You make a wisdom check. If you are casting that spell now, which I assume you are because you clicked it, you're making a wisdom check.
For a while. Oh no. It was a.
You attempt to banish this magic. It doesn't even respond to your polite request. As if the very magic were alive and writhing. Ashal! You're gonna take me a 10 necrotic damage. And then it's your turn. You are restrained. You can see the brain. It is injured.
Do I attempt to mental spear when this thing probably has a very good intelligence saving throw on the off chance of stunning it and therefore potentially forcing it to drop the spell? Or should I go with a clearer damage dealing route? What do you do? I would like this thing to not be very charismatic, please.
Ah! It is brain.
Go, Essence Trap.
It's gonna fail.
Excellent.
Yay! Thank God you stole all that blood.
Takes the damage.
And yeah, that's pretty much all I can do.
Free Smolder, you can kind of move and shift around the tendrils as they're reaching
Down
and grabbing.
tendrils. I don't think there's anything I can do to get anyone else out of them, so I'm gonna pull it. Having moved out of the tentacle, that's what, 4. I am gun aimed again. I don't have any more preparation points, so it's just gonna be a normal shot and hope for the best.
It's good, but it's not quite a kill. You can see the thing kind of straining to life, the veins pumping and pulsing across the thing, some of them starting to burst at the effort.
I don't have anything else I can do, I don't think. No, I don't think I do. Nope. My
All
turn.
right. Free Smolder, give me a charisma saving throw.
Okay. 20?
Yeah. It reaches to you telepathically, but you can just completely close off your mind.
Ain't having that shit.
Ocean! Hello. You're going to take 13 necrotic damage.
Well, she's unconscious.
Okay. Ashal, you are going to take... actually... I am incorrect. You have taken no damage, Ocean, because I went and checked, and the brain would have dropped concentration from the damage taken. Meaning, just as they're starting to squeeze and you can feel your organs straining, it's going to disappear. And you drop to the ground. So you can actually take your turn, Ocean.
Attack or flee?
It seems to be on its last legs. Heal yourself. Do not come in.
Healing. I'm going to use my last level 3 spell to cast Mass Healing Word at 3rd level.
So you can only heal you and Ocean because you cannot see it at Free Smolder. And by you and Ashal. So both of you heal 4.
That sucked.
Yeah, it's creatures you see, so. And it's also mass healing word, so it's not a large heal in general. But it is healing. Michelle, you're up next.
I want to get distance on this thing. Tempestuous magic plus maelstrom. I might as well upcast it at this point. So 10 feet, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
It's going to fail. As you are rushing closer, surprisingly, it explodes into pinkish grey matter.
Do I get a soul from it for the essence?
No.
No, I didn't. I didn't think I would. But
Gotta catch
Nothing.
them all. Gotta catch them all. Gotta catch them all the souls.
Oh! It falls quiet and still.
Oshun will like peek around the corner.
yeah.
The thing is dead. All is well.
That was a surprise.
Here are you for 14.
Thank you.
What even was that thing? I do not recognize it.
Do I recognize that thing in any way, or is it familiar?
Can give
Ollie?
me a history or arcana check, I suppose.
Thank you.
Occasionally, Abamari create or extract hind brains to act as conduits for the song. Almost like a telephone tower.
My people are known to aid the song with extracted hindbrains. If I had to hazard a guess, this might have been corrupted in some way. I do not know.
Are there several of these things about the city?
I do not know. It's not impossible.
If we destroy them, will the big worm go away?
Either that, or it will lose all sense of schedule and control. One of the two. It was not my imagination, was it? There was a voice from above.
Yes, sounded like a little bitch.
You can look up and you can see a little bitch. Kind of pinned to the wall, high up. This chamber goes very high, but maybe 15 feet up. With their arms like up above them is a figure that looks kind of like a dwarf, but not quite. They look very sick, almost as if they were super dehydrated. Their skin is incredibly dry, but not quite flaky. But while there isn't a beard, there are these almost dried out tentacles. Some go out of the face, some go through the face and out again. Again, they look like Ebamari tentacles, as if they were maybe made of wood, or if they were tentacles and they were dried out. The eyes, from here, it looks very small, or maybe that they don't have eyes at all, but there's these deep sockets. And they're wearing just like a rough robe, very similar to a shawl. And they have a smile on their face.
Don't like that.
Shao looks at them, pointedly ignores them, and goes to check the remnants of the brain. Is there anything here I can feed on?
The psionic essence would have been released the moment it was destroyed.
Drat.
Not even just a little gnome.
You could eat the goo and it would have some goodness, but not much.
I shall will probably like take a mouthful. Anyway, but and then we'll look up. And what are you supposed to be?
Interesting question. That you start with what, not who. Usually people start with who's, not what's, but I can understand the fusion. Wow, wow, wowie. Look at the height of that one. You're huge, madam. Massive.
Oh, thank you.
I am an unfortunate soul, I suppose you could say. Someone who's been trapped here for quite some time, stuck in eternal torment.
Well, we must free you.
I would be most appreciative if you could remove these chains around my...
Doubt.
This
Press A,
creature is bringing off degrees of what can only really be called, like, the madness of a shattered mind. I don't think a Charl with a 17 insight would trust this guy as far as they could throw them, which with Maelstrom would be pretty far, because they are actually very small. Because they've been kind of like, they're like a husk, almost. But they're not, you don't necessarily get, like, evil vibes either. It's just, it's not a fiend. But I think a Charl would start considering them the same way that they would consider a fiend, you know.
As Oshun passes, Ashal would like quietly say, "Be careful. I do not believe they have ill intent, but they have been tortured for a long time. Their mind is not whole anymore."
I trust you. And from behind Oshun's back, what you may have assumed was like a tattoo, like you could sort of glimpse behind like her like floor length hair, some like spider legs protrude and then like unfurl, and she just spider climbs up the wall.
Whoa! Where can I get some of those?
Well, first you must convert to the worship of Lady Ivrith, and then descend into isolation and consider your place in this world, and it may grant you the sweet release of death, or change you into a Drider. What the heck am I?
Drider.
Drider. Ascended Drider.
Oh, you sound like you've gone through as much of a ringer as I have.
Now, I must ask, small creature, do you wish to be free, or do you
Free?
wish for the sweet release of death?
Oh, I do believe if you were trying to kill me, you'd find yourself most disappointed. There's not really much left in here to kill. I think I'm better off free and unchained.
Right. Let's see what we can do.
Who were you before?
Then the reek of chronomancy wasn't just a coincidence. You're interested in the when of me. I'm afraid to say that after all the tinkerings and trappings, whatever was left of me before is most likely, well, maybe strewn around the goo on the floor.
Charlotte just is like, sorry.
They scooped all of that out and they put more in, so much more, to make something that is more and less than anyone else has ever been. Can you work a little faster on these chains? They have been binding me for quite some time.
I've got insight, also medicine, if there's like...
You're just breaking free.
Um,
How high is he up on
He's
the wall?
15 feet up, but he's like essentially like kind of pinned against the wall via arm chains. So they would be roughly the 15 feet up.
Oshun, if you lift me up, I should be able to dissolve those chains.
yeah, let's grab a leg.
It might be a good idea if you prepare to catch this one,
I do not see why we bother with him. he is lost.
All children are lost and need some kind of guiding back to the path.
She's right! She's right! I'm just a lost little baby boy! I need help!
The effort does not seem to make up for what little reward we may gain from this dwarf.
Gnome, if I had to guess, or possibly even Darkling. It's difficult to tell.
The gifts Lady Ivrith bestowed upon me is, to make a long story short, motherhood of all. It is not within my capabilities to turn my back on something suffering. However, I am also attuned to the blessing of death, where it is naturally needed. However, you've said you don't want to die, and I respect that. Tinker, tinker.
That's not what I said.
Oh.
If you wish a more pragmatic reason, we simply have no information nor people to convey information on this place. The ramblings of a madman, at least, might hold clues, even if they are cryptic.
Yeah,
He
sure,
nods
so
rapidly, and as he nods, you can basically hear, like, rattling as he's doing it.
Ashal, assuming Oshun pulls
I want
Ashal up,
two
will
spider
break
legs to
form.
come down and scoop you up.
You can break the
form.
chains. You can probably Oshun can like catch the little guy in his fall. He's like 3 foot tall. He does seem like he probably maybe was a dwarf based on just the structure, but just everything's been like dehydrated out. And he's just tiny.
There you are. Looks at you.
Wow, I'm definitely in your debt, big lady. Big. Massive.
Yes. Now, how might we go about detecting the other parts of you?
Oh. That's very kind to say, madam. But anything that was me is long gone, or at least who I was. Not after all the games she played on me.
She?
Oh, absolutely lovely woman, giant brain, brilliant dresses. She's from the nice side of town, but she was far, far worse.
I knew it.
What did you say?
You actually hear Ashal sort of wet chuckling in that weird way that Ashal's.
No, don't get me twisted. They were not my host in this horrible, terrifying place. No, and he'll like wiggle out of your arms like a baby, and he'll like pat the ground, and like goo comes up and it's like, no, this was
Down,
part
down?
of Atratosk. Atratosk is the brain for here, probably still roosting around.
The brain of here.
Oh, of course, when you've got so many angry little brain suckers, you need something to keep them in line, keep them in check. But if that something has as many ideas as this something, well, I know he was working on something big. Although, I don't know if he's still working on it after everything went kaboom!
You know what happened here. You were here before.
I saw the whole thing! I was on that wall!
Can you recount it?
Oh,
If you
I'm
brain,
sure.
Get the information.
Potentially, yes, although I'm not sure if this one has any brain left to eat.
He scratches at his what definitely like a lobotomy scar. like on the side of like here, like. And it does. It's like wood scraping wood.
If I go up to him and like reach out, does he shy away?
No.
Okay. If I attempt to sip from him, can I get anything, or is it just like there is nothing there?
There's nothing.
Yeah.
Empty.
Head empty.
Oh, if you're a little thirsty, my friend, you'll find yourself seriously disappointed.
I was merely confirming a theory.
I'm honored that you wanted to eat me.
Well, I'm sorry to delay your travel into the restful world, but you've conveyed a lot of information that...
I understand exactly what's happening here, here. You need to know more about this place. You're the only living things I've seen here in a long time. I imagine you're here to tamper. My name? Well, when I had friends, they called me Lloyd.
Lloyd! Don't worry, Lloyd. Soon you'll reach the sweet oblivion.
But
Boy.
yes, you're recounting the events here would be beneficial to us.
All right. So,
Lloyd the empty dwarf.
Lloyd the empty dwarf. With that, with a bug with a gun and an empty boy, you are now fully ready to explore this city in the damned. So we can end off today's session because we're a little over time.
Send him to the Shadow Realm.
No, we don't want to send him to the Shadow Realm. He might be useful.
Yeet. Do what Serena did and just yeet Shadow Realm portals at people.
Yep. Serena did do that.
Down here in the Underrealm. Probably
Yeah.
not good for, the economy.
Serena didn't give a shit.
No! Serena is like the opposite of Ashar. Is like, well, if the boundaries between worlds get weaker, that's better for me.
Yeah, exactly.
If she even thought about it. Good old Serena. May we meet again.
Yes, I do hope we meet again. I hope to get to play her again one day. Maybe.
Well,
I can dream.
all we can hope next time is the safe continuation of this journey. Next session. Of course, we got Quill joining us for a little bit on this chapter.
Thank you.
So you have someone to kill things because you all aren't good at killing things.
I'm pretty decent at it. Ish.
You're both decent at it, but she has a gun.
Ocean's playing the passive fat pair.
Pass it to the face.
Pacifier. Yeah. Free Smolder isn't playing the pacifist route. Free Smolder is playing the kill everything, get shit done route. So that'll be wicked fun. Got the whole tortured city to wander around and lurk through, and sure there'll be some surprises in store. We should be back next week. Before we go, we'll talk a little bit more about what y'all have going on, starting with Quill.
Hey, I'm Voice Quills. You might recognize me from playing Peep, the little kobold boy on the Saturday show. I just post shit posts on YouTube and voice act. That's kind of all I do. So if you like the voice thing I did during that whole thing where
I was being Free Smolder.
check out my YouTube channel at Voice Quills, and there's a bunch of stuff like that.
I love it. So cool.
Yeah. Yeah, literally, we're making a different character. I was like, just play it here. Just bring it here. Sure. Ian and Zoe.
Sounding like a ponce.
The way I change my voice is by giving myself a sore throat for a week. I am Ian. I am at least 63% asleep right now.
It's very specific.
Yes, exactly. And I play D&D, far too much D&D in Jarviskjir, and primarily Jarviskjir, to be honest. If you want more of me and other people in Jarviskjir and other places, you should check out Ollie's Patreon and subscribe for $5 a month, which gets you access to a bi-weekly Pokemon game that isn't in Jarviskjir yet.
It's true.
We haven't yet found one of the Pokemon that can make portals between worlds or anything.
Shit.
That's true. That's a thing.
Also, there is a Monday game, which we have just started a Thieves Guild game up in the lovely continent of Mother's Horn, which should prove interesting and perhaps have some insights to the Fell because of the character I am playing. So
Yeah, it's kind of a
yeah,
weird
so-
coincidence.
Yeah, totally not planned at all, honest. Yeah, good night.
Oh.
Zoe, as your husband dies, what's up with you? How are you doing?
I am husband. Ian is wife. It is 3 days until the end of the Schism Kickstarter. And yeah, it's all coming to a close.
Okay. Yes, there's 3 days left of the Schism Kickstarter. If you were interested in the project, one way or another, give it attention now. Because one way or another, that'll be where you learn more about what's happening next. We've got some plans down the line. So if you are vaguely interested in the series, we talked a lot about it basically every other episode. Zoe is writing for it. Zoe's going to be doing more writing for stuff like with that we do down the line. And there's a lot of other stuff.
Right now.
Yeah. So definitely if you're interested in that project, do follow it. Do follow me on Discord. Do follow us on Twitter. Other way around, you know what I mean. And join the Discord if you haven't already. I have the other show, which is Rock and North on Saturdays. We have the Monday show, we have the Tuesday sometimes show, and we also have other chill streams. I have opened up commissions again, and some of those I'm going to be doing while I can, while I am battling chronic illness as life goes. So definitely join for all of that, and hopefully get some cool stuff done. But we'll leave you now to see you next time and say goodbye to our Patreon supporters. So we'll see you next week for more guns and bugs and ghosts and ghouls.
Right.